So you do have to wonder. So you do have to ask yourself, is it possible?
And I say, yes.
Ancient action figure prophecies foretold.
Is it indeed possible?
So you have to ask yourself, is this what they call me?
They call him the Wizard.
And I say, yes, welcome. It is the market show. And last time I checked, it was March 30th. And at least on this planet, Earth 1 anyway. And look, I, the Dark Jedi, am live and in color. And I am so excited to be here with you because, listen, with everything going on with Hot Toys, when it comes to Star Wars Celebration, look, and Celebration really isn't until, what, April 18th and 20th, baby. And look at all the heat we're getting ready for the booth with Hot Toys. We're not even discussing May 4th yet. But listen, with a lot of things right now, I'm kind of spilling a lot of the coffee. And I think it's just time. Oh, listen, I have to play this first because I have a very special guest. And I don't want to disrespect this guest who I'm going to bring in now because this is his favorite clip in history.
I'm Boba Fett. I'm here to see the mayor.
Boba Fett. Do you have an appointment?
Or is that OG fan, Lane? Lane, Lane, I think this is actually your favorite.
Fulfill your destiny.
Man, this is like a Star Wars scene where your best friend is also your worst enemy, man. Hey, everybody. So good to be back here. Mr. Aries, it is so good to see you live again. How have you been, sir? I hope you have had many excellent collecting adventures over the last, 6-8 months or so. It's so good to be back here with you tonight. Who knows what else may happen because as we have learned in the world of 1/6 scale, you never know who, what, or when something's going to pop up you may not have previously thought you would see. It's a great time, man. Painful and great.
Well, let me answer your question like this. So what you going to do, Lane, when Aries Tarrington goes back live on you? And I think the big dog pound is in the chat.
Yes,
so ready,
is.
all together. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Woo! And we'll have to go say hi to the. But wait a minute, Lane. I don't know. I'm doing well, by the way. And I've had some medical struggles, some personal struggles, but we persevere. There's always hope. Collecting is fun. It takes your mind off it. I've been doing a ton of pre-recorded videos. Yes. And I think it's been a year since I've been live.
Something like that.
Maybe it's been a long time. I've been on my friend Jay, Brother Cousins, on shows when I can, but that's been a little bit. But look, it's great to be here.
Instantly started up. People started pouring in, man. It was great.
Well, we got to say hi to everybody in here, but I think we may have another guest. And, you do have to wonder. I don't know which one of you, but maybe this guest, if they call him
They call him the Wizard.
Uh-oh. We can't hear you.
And it is second brother. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, man?
Hey,
man, you said.
Oop, lost your audio there. I had you for a minute. Still lost your audio. Let's see. Maybe I have you. Nope. Yeah, you're still muted. Lane, you had this problem too backstage. What did you do?
I know. I was running into it too.
Did you like unplug or plug it back in?
Yep. It was. Everybody remembers when live, what can go wrong will go wrong.
Well, it's good to have second brother in the house.
Yeah.
I had you when you first came on, and now I don't. And oh, wait a minute. Wait, stay there, second brother. Try it. Try it now. Hold on. Can't unmute your guest. The mic isn't connected, so he's going to come back. Come on back in, second brother. But good. Second brother's in the house too. And but Lane, how the heck are you?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. It's been a good weekend. And now let's let second brother leave off, pick up where he left off.
You got me now?
Got you now.
Okay. Yeah, man, it was a surprise because I was actually in that chair napping. I just like crashed out. So when I saw it, I woke up and I saw your message. I'm like, wait a minute. He's going live now? Oh, okay.
I tell you what. I was going to try to record a show, and I said, you know what? I miss everybody in here, and I think we can go ahead and do this market show live because I've got so many topics that actually in order bookmark that, the three of us can go ahead and go through them with everybody in the chat as well to kind of participate in this. And what better time than with Star Wars Celebration, because we didn't have one last year, fellas. And everyone in the chat, we're having Star Wars Celebration here, April, I think, 18th through the 20th. And you can see Hot Toys already this far in advance, some of the teasers that they're going to have. You have to ask yourself what else, not only with figures, but maybe with Star Wars, films, TV shows, comics, things that they're going to unveil and what that means. And forget about May 4th, because usually we start stirring about May 4th. But Celebration, I think we're going to get slammed, second brother, with Star Wars stuff from Hot Toys this year.
It's crazy for the timing of Celebration and then the 4th. Then you just look at the list that Hot Toys, the little shadow list that Hot Toys put out, and they were like, okay, what are you going to leave? What are you going to leave for the 4th? You can't just blow your load right there. You got to leave some things in mystery, but I actually just finished up the Fan Home Star Wars Encyclopedia set. That's like 90 books. And then I looked through the first 5 and I'm sitting up there like, Hot Toys got a lot they can do. A lot they can do. So, it's just like one of our fellow streamers, our pockets, our emotions. And that's where I'm at. 'Cause I'm trying to be very lean this year. I'm trying to be very lean.
Yep. So
I'm just like, okay, what else they could come out with that would get me to be like, oh, I'm gonna jump on that. I think the biggest thing that I'm waiting on, the Anakin thing, I'm kind of like, okay, when it gets here, it gets here. My excitement for that is not gone, but it's like, okay, when it gets here, it gets here. I'm more excited for that do back. I'm waiting for that more than anything else.
I got news on both of those figures because we'll talk about that later in the show. That's one of the topics, but I'm right with you. I kind of conserving this year as well because Lane, if you remember last year was the most Hot Toys ever not released but announced ever in the history of their existence and in 6-scale collect. Well, and a lot of people think, including myself, that they're going to surpass the record breaking from last year. Now here's the thing though, if they do that, there's not really a plethora of Star Wars shows and movies just swarming us this year. It's all coming up in the future. So what the heck are they going to give us with all of this? And I think we're getting some clues. As I told you before we started, Lane, you know what I'm going to pull up, on Facebook and all that, because we're going to cover, obviously, the Artisan Anakin. That's one of the topics today, but the Grogu, where they're touting about the movie. They're kind of saying in preparation for that. Jalen Erso, the dueling effect Vader. We're already starting to get some stuff that we got to go ahead and get into. Lane, your thoughts on Celebration and May 4th and what's going on?
I can see them perhaps not doing very much for May 4th this year, and it being more with since it's not every year kind of thing, where they might but so far
Like one or two.
Yeah, like I'm not going to say they'll do nothing, but I think the focus could be on Celebration. Now, knowing Howie, you can never 100% say because he might do one figure of something or he does 10 figures for something. So you never 100% can say. Now, the thing is, I could see May the 4th not being a ton is because I think just because all the manufacturing and just leaving out even the Star Wars, all the other exclusives for Marvel that they put out recently and such as well, that's all stuff they're putting out right now. So I could see I could see them focus on Celebration, but then maybe like for May the 4th, that might be a couple of the releases they're going to do for the Revenge of the Sith 20th. Now, they put out, I think, like last year, some of the big boys that people really wanted for Revenge of the Sith, like General Grievous, Revenge of the Sith Palpatine and stuff. Those were some of the big ones. So
yeah, before the anniversary. That's weird, wasn't it? Anyway.
But now here's what I would say. Yeah, I get you. But aren't you a little bit more excited you might actually get some of them? Now, not for a little, like Grievous is probably going to be a while before like we see that guy pop up. But we'll get them possibly in the 20th anniversary year for once instead of, hey, you're getting it, but you're going to get it the year afterwards kind of thing,
Well,
and maybe Andor might finally get some stuff. I could see maybe like because Andor will have already started. Andor maybe like we might get a cat because I would like. Am I ever going to say Cassian Andor is my favorite Star Wars character ever? No, but I would like to have one. If you have any,
it's an important character.
Figures. Yeah,
right.
If you own any Rogue One, especially now, he might have some different outfits because season 2 is going to time jump year by year by year. We might get an outfit that's closer to how he looked in Rogue One, maybe like from the second to last set of episodes or something. So you could get one that would easily go if you have Jyn or any of those figures. That would fit in perfect if they wanted the 2.0, any, Rogue Ones for the 10th anniversary next year. Can't believe it's almost 10 years since it came out. Right. I think it's
that and The Force Awakens.
Right.
Yeah. I think you're trying to give Howie nightmares if you start mentioning that movie in the figures.
Well, I could play the Return of the Jedi preview for you again.
I
know it's your favorite.
Yeah.
It's your favorite clip.
But I just think there is a lot. I think there may be a focus a little bit more just because Celebration is not an every year thing. We're still going to get some stuff for May the 4th, but maybe it's just like you said, a figure or two. But that still leaves that could happen that week, and within that 2-week cycle, we could see 2 or 3 figures a week or something, for like 2 or 3 weeks in a row of Star Wars and stuff in between.
Well, they did that last year with so many, with a lot of the IPs, and I'll be honest with you, with all these 2.0s, we were talking about it last year when I was live a lot, but I tell you what, over the last 12 months, I think it's been insane, the amount of 2.0s. And I really don't feel like they've started. They did it with the Darth Maul. All right, let's face it, the DX16, DX17. But you're seeing it with starting to see it with the Batman figures. You're certainly seeing it with the Terminator figures. You're seeing it with the Artisan Jack Sparrow.
There's the reason Obi-Wan, like the Obi-Wan, leaving out the Anakin like Dark Side or whatever. But there's a reason what used to be. Perhaps one of consistently maybe the second most expensive or having over retail value figure over the last 4 or 5 years was that Obi-Wan Revenge of the Sith. He was never as expensive as like Dark Side Anakin or something, but he was probably his value has gone down quite a bit. Now that could be affected by three Obi-Wans came out last year. That might have a little bit to do with it too.
The Clone Wars, both versions, is a nice head sculpt, but I tell you what, a lot of collectors were just amazed by the whatchamacallit, the DX26?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have that one. That one is scary. If they did an Artisan with that head sculpt, I would love it.
You could see an Obi-Wan art. I think that because it's like literally kind of two of the things that not 100% when I see it, but if they were to do a 2.0 Artisan figure,
See my finger right here, Lane?
yes.
It's right there. See the Obi-Wan? I got it with the lightsaber look,
Oh
guys.
yeah. No, I have
That was amazing.
I have him with the entire Kenobi line except for the Purge Trooper, which I gave that figure away actually. But I could see the Revenge of the Sith, it'd fall within anniversary. I think his hair would be sort of decently easy enough to do because it's a shorter haircut, but who knows? I mean, Anakin looks like he needs plenty of work done on his hair to make it look good. But it's also a 2.0, so they've already done the stuff, the outfit. They've already done that before, so they can. It ticks a lot of boxes that Hot Toys likes to do. We can Artisan 2.0 it, and we already have the molds for some of the stuff, so I could see that being
Well, and they're doing shorter hair with the Artisans too. Look at the Tom Holland Spider-Man. You're looking at Oscar Isaac with the Moon Knight. So now they're starting to venture into, like Inart with the shorter hair. So I think, all bets are off when it comes to Star Wars. But yeah, Ava, just going back to you before we say hi to everybody in the chat, which I'm going to do here in just a second. I feel like we've been, like we were talking about with Lane, we're getting killed with 2.0s, but I feel like we're about to with Star Wars. I mean, they've been doing it with DC. They've been slowly putting it in with Marvel, but I think Star Wars, especially with, The Force Awakens, Rogue One, and you talk about A New Hope too. There's no, Revenge of the Sith. Well, I guess you could talk about A New Hope. There's a lot of 2.0s they can do with some stuff.
Yeah, some of the 2.0s that they brought out was justified, and some that was just like, okay.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, okay. So basically, it's so much that they can turn around and put out. Like you were saying, talking about Andor. Like, I cannot wait to get my hands on the Saw Gerrera. Not just because it's Saw Gerrera, it just look like the intricacies and what they had to put into that figure to make it work. You're looking at half diecast parts. You see half droid parts. You see there's a whole bunch of, mix, how can I say, junkyard stuff that can happen with that figure to make it look good and to be a challenge. So, but like you said, with these like 2.0s, like we just like last year got slammed. I'm looking at boxes like even now on my pool table. I got at least probably 10 boxes sitting on my pool table I haven't even opened yet. Because it's like over time, just been paying, orders and paying them off. But I can't wait to see what's new they're going to bring.
Me too.
What's new they're going to bring. Because, you have Leia and, how can we turn around and say, we don't want to say slave Leia, but, that's still.
Right. You want the prisoner Leia, and I want the bounty hunter Leia.
Right. You got Bosch Leia. You got. It's so much that could be, there's so much that can be done,
Ceremony Leia?
Yeah. Because it was actually, I think it was one of your last shows when I was on here and said, hey, they was going to do something. Let's get a Chewy 3PO 2-pack.
And they did it.
You got it. So, it's good to try to throw those feelers out there, but you're just looking at with Hot Toys and just dealing with the Star Wars IP itself. It is just so broad. It is so broad. And Sideshow stole a little day thunder with the Scum and Villainy line. They pretty much doing that, with the cantina characters. So,
and those are nice. But I have to throw you credit here because you did bring up the how about Chewbacca with C-3PO. So you have to ask yourself, second brother, is this what they call you, David?
The Wizard.
Oh no, you may have something to that because I made 2 statements. I made that one on Chewie, and I turned around and said about the Dark Forces Luke. Because someone said if it was an Artisan,
you did. You did.
I was like, do that if it's going to impress me. And damn sure it was like a couple of months. I was like, holy crap, he did it.
So listen, let me serve you up again. For I think you're at table one. And play another one here for you.
The Wizard.
Second brother Nostradamus, please.
Yeah.
Tell us
We
what
got to
it
do a
means.
Nostradamus.
Well,
one.
you know, the thing is with that, if I turn around, if it comes out of my mouth, it means I have to purchase it also. So you have to be careful with that.
All right, so listen,
we just
guys,
spend $500
let's
on it.
let's say hi to some of the people that are in here, and thank you all so much. You are watching the market show for this week, but live, baby. We have got Lane in the house. Lane Kramer, good to be here. We have got second brother Eamon in the house. Good to have them here. And let's say who is in the house here. We have got Preston Hoskins. Good to have you in here. Excellent. Hawthorne and Luke with Tauntaun, do that, and Probe Droid will sell out. And look, and I say yes. And I tell you what, the way Hot Toys has been putting out things last year and this year, I would say that is ultra possible. 12-inch Moose Stream is in the house. What is going on? Good to see you. Moose Holiday Styles, what is going on? And one more time. 1, 2, 3. Woo! The big dog pound. Anakin Skywalker has force pushed that like button. Hey, thank you, buddy. Go ahead and smash that like button. That is what Jagron says. Hit the like button, please. Good to have you in here.
AKA me. That's me.
Yeah, is that you?
Yes.
Oh, why doesn't it say like Lane? Like it's so that is your character, Jagron.
I'll explain that a little bit later once we.
I want to hear the story. I want to hear the story. Master Imwe, good to have you in the house too, says life-size Grogu 2.0. Look, I guess, isn't that the 2.0 that Hot Toys came out with, or is that a different version? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we're going to bring up that Grogu for sure. And going through more of the people that are in here. Charlie the Unicorn is in the house saying he wants the TIE Fighter and the test pilot Cassian Andor figure for sure. Good to have you in here. Howdy back at you, Clinton Martin. Good to have you in the house. And thank the maker, says MB Dyson 829 Aries, the Hot Toys Wizard is in the house. Thank the maker. Do I have a 3PO in here? I don't know, but I have this guy. Can we get him in Artisan?
Are you stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder?
Well, that describes about half the collectors when they're talking at about 9 o'clock at night. We all a little scruffy looking, man. We've been working all day.
It's good to have so many of you in here watching. And look who's in here. Collector Chris is in the house. Good to have you in here, my friend, for sure. And if I miss you in here, it's about trying to just keep putting in your chat, and I'll get you on here. Mr. OEM Toys saying thank you, Dog Pound. Core is 2K. Come on, Hot Toys, bring us the Dark Side Anakin. We're going to talk about that because this Anakin in the secondary market, fellas, is just. I got it on the banner, and it's no joke. I was talking to Jay, second brother, over the phone with this before the show. It is, I will tell you that the DX33 and the DX39, a lot of buzz. They're selling for a lot of money, but this thing is off the charts. I was even trying to, see if we can get one off of 10 cent, and he was messaging me saying I can't even hold them. These are selling for $1,200-$1,300 a pop. They've never seen anything like this.
You know what? And we just talked about it on Thursday because I told him because it was going for. We was checking eBay and it was for $9, and I was like, okay, since these blogger photos and came out, that's going to jump another $300. That's going to jump $300. A lot of people that was on the fence about it, especially after they had what I call Fluffgate, when they had that demo, the one they had, and the hair was all over the place. Everyone kind of did a pause. and some people were canceling orders. Dark Profi had his waitlist converted right on air with us. So you can see some people like bowing out, but then all of a sudden, when those blogger photos came out, like within 10 minutes after the show, I'm like, watch, it's gonna be a mad rush. People gonna try to get this thing or try to figure out some way to sell theirs, you know.
And brother, don't try and kill my positive karma that my waitlist is gonna convert, sir.
Maybe
it may, because no matter how good it is or how rare it is,
that is right.
or whatever the reason you're buying it, people the piper's calling now, and that there's a lot of figures out there, so your wait list may convert. It's going through the rest of the chat here. Valkyrie's in the house. Official 6 Scale Cantina member. Thank you very much. Good to have you in here. And Mary Sullivan. Mary, what's going on? Was chatting with you with Victoria's show yesterday on Victoria's Cantina. Good to see you in here. And let's see. Continuing to go on. Mike Latoris. Man, I can't even believe this is happening. Sunday Night Roar. Come on, baby. You know it's good. What table are you at? You must be at Mike Latoris. I guarantee you're at table 2 with
coffee regular. You know that's breast milk.
I miss this. I miss this too much. Hey guys, maybe we need an artisan of this guy.
Blow that piece of junk out of the sky! All fighters!
Yeah. It's so much. I mean, it's so much that they can do. There's so much they can do, but
it's crazy. And Boba Fettuccine's in the house. I almost missed this. Well, what's going on, Boba Fettuccine? Good to have you in here. And I feel like I'm going to miss some of you guys, but just keep going in and putting in the chat, and I'll get to all of you. As we're in here, and we got a super chat from table 2, where Mike Litoris, where he says you do have to ask yourself, and listen, you definitely earn another. I think we're all a little bit hungry for some more artisan figures and some more rarity, and we're hungry to kind of just take the money out of our wallet. So let's just order some pizza, baby.
You're delicious. Ciao, boys.
See, that right there was the guy who's the collector's holding the Anakin artisan figure, telling you ciao, boys, and everybody who doesn't have one, like, say goodbye.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen.
That's the state of exclusives in general, unfortunately, sometimes.
Oh my goodness gracious! Well, good to have. We got a packed house in here. I haven't been live. I guess like I was talking to you in about a year. And Charlie Unicorn saying at Tib sent shout out to BC. I guess his brother cousins and yeah, Tim Sent does a good job over there. And listen, we've got to get into a lot of these. So this is what we're going to do on this show, guys, as I talked about. We got to talk about this Anakin figure. We're going to talk about that, what's going on in the secondary market. So that's going to be part of the market show. Is it possible that figure is going over $2,000? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to give our thoughts on that figure. What about a dark side Anakin? We got to talk about Jalen Erso, okay, and what that means. We got to talk about this dueling effect Vader. We got a ton of stuff hitting the wait list that I'm going to break some news on this show that we're going to go ahead and talk about. But listen, guys, 6 Scale Cantina, it takes a while to get to the intro, but we got to play the intro. So let's go ahead and dive into all of this right now. All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of the Market Show right here at the Six Scale Cantina. And just in case you don't know just who I am the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington, and I'm about to serve up all of the Six Scale action figure talk. And I've got Lane Kramer with me, Jagron. You have to tell me what that is later. I have got the second brother in here with me as well. And, we started off this show talking about possibilities for, what they're going to do at Celebration. And I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. I had a funny feeling as I get ready to pull this up onto the screen that this was going to start happening. And let me go ahead and share the screen here, guys. If I can go ahead, I'm setting the controls to the heart of the sun over here, and it's been a little bit since I've done this, but I think I'm going to do this right. There he is. And everyone in the chat, and let's talk about this because we've got a lot to cover. I was a little surprised that they went with The Mandalorian, especially with the movie. The movie is coming out in 2026, but not 2025. But I actually think that this is one of the figures that they had in their pipeline. So I think that there's a couple of things here going on. The movie is coming out, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie in 2026. But I think Hot Toys is aware, from the licenses that they have. Lane, we'll start off with you, with Disney, and Star Wars, that they're probably a Celebration going to pump up this movie quite a bit. Disney is going to do, and probably going to reveal some things that we don't know about that, and some other tidbits about the Mandalorian and Grogu. And I think they're going to push this very, very hard, especially because they've had some ups and downs. Let's be serious. Let's just be honest. They've had some ups and they've had some downs, and all recently, and they've had some pretty high ups with Deadpool and Wolverine, and some pretty low downs. And I think they've got to hit it out of the park with Star Wars, or it's going to be a disaster. So I guess under that view, with what Celebration, maybe they're going to unveil Star Wars themselves. I'm not surprised to get Grogu, but I feel like, Lane, this came out of nowhere. What were your thoughts when they came out with this?
My first response was, what? When I saw it, because I literally saw it 30 seconds after I went up and sent it, to several Facebook chats I'm in and some Discords, and everybody was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "They just put this up." They did have a version, if I'm not mistaken, second brother Aries, of a version of this with the pram like last year or something. And someone said, "This is them trolling us, showing that bag and the guy with it in the big bag and everything that looks like, something you would have stuck DJ Hero in back in 2009. I think it looks cool. I'm going to guess it probably mouth doesn't open, so they're not going to run into that issue where they would have the, tearing and stuff under the chin that they ran into with the first one. I think the legs are foldable, so you can have them sitting down unlike the first one. I think it's going to be a nice life size if you weren't able to get the first one. The head sculpt definitely better. It's more accurate than the first one, but looking more like Grogu.
I thought so too. Yep. I thought so too.
Yeah, it's now my question, if either of you guys may know this, because I know someone was putting it, Moose Stream was mentioning this. Isn't this one also an exclusive? It's a specific number, 3,000 or something?
I'll have to look at that. Is that
it was on that is Avon was mentioned earlier, where they have that huge
the shadow of
yeah, and they have the different things that they're filling in on the exclusive.
I'll have to look. Wouldn't it say on the Facebook thing?
I may be wrong. I read something this might have been an exclusive or something. With
I didn't see an exclusive, the exclusive label they pop up on the left hand side. I haven't seen it.
You might be right. I thought because it was in that thing where they're showing all the different figures and all the stuff coming as part of Celebration. So,
well, if someone knows in the chat, if you could go check it out on Facebook.
I thought it was something where because it was tied into celebration.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually think that this is, as far as the accuracy, I agree with you, Lane. I'm going to you, Eamon. I was stunned by how much this looks like Grogu from the show. I mean, it's a freaking. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks amazing. But when I saw it, I was like, "Oh boy, here we go, another Grogu." I kind of think well, I'm not going to say kind of. Yeah, I think they blew their load with Grogu because I'm like, I know on the previous stream with Brother Cousins, I'm like, man, I got like 6 of these things running around here, including the life-size one from Sideshow. So it's just like, okay, it's a Grogu, but what is it that makes it more, that will make it more desirable than any other ones that we had? Besides, you guys pointed out that the articulation, they're able to get it to sit down. It has, the coloring, the coloring and the hair, everything's there. Some improvement. The one that was in the bag, when I saw him in the bag, and I was sitting there like, well, that Grogu need to be roughed up and beat up, because when he was in that bag riding with them damn scout troopers, they was working him over. So
yeah.
he was working them over in that bag. So look at something different. But I was like, I'm sorry, it didn't have me like uber excited. It's like good for the innovation and improvements in the made, but it wouldn't make me rush out and buy one. I would say that.
Well, second brother, I may have that clip for you, baby. And here's the thing. I will say this. Okay. They're not calling this a 2.0, second brother.
Mm.
In my opinion, this is a 2.0.
Well, it is.
I mean, so let's just be real. I mean, they could say it comes with the pack, you could put it over, but come on. I mean, we already got one here, and I think it is an upgrade, but I think that this is a 2.0.
The other thing you noticed on the ears, it doesn't have the seam lines the first one had.
Oh yeah. I noticed. Yeah, that it is very, very nice when you look at this picture here. I'm kind of like, whoa.
What do you think the modern price point for this thing is going to be, though? That's what I'm wondering. It's got to be 400.
Probably about
450, 430.
Nah, probably close to like 525.
Yeah. What do you all think in the chat? I think 525. I could see them trying to keep it under 5 and maybe going 475, but I think you're right on. I think it can be anywhere between 550 and 450 and 525. Let us know in the chat what you think. I don't think they're just going to raise this like 10, $25 because the last one was 400 something, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Or the first one was 410 way back.
Yeah, it's got to be, I think, where you're saying. Let us know in the chat, where you think this would be priced at. And I thought I saw the Space Pimp in the house.
I guess we can.
And he is Brother Cousins Toy Reviews. What is going on? Good to have you in here, Jay. Thank you very much for popping in there. Good to be back on. Definitely good to be back on. And Jay, if you're in the chat, how much do you think this is going to sell for? What say you on this? Big Dog Pound says $450 max. Okay, well, I tell you what, I hope you're right, because they haven't been doing that bad on some of these prices. Lane, what do you think? I mean, not to get all into that, but I've been still a little surprised with some of these figures coming out, and they're not too over the top yet.
It's been kind of interesting because we saw them, end of last year. Some of the figures seem to be going like, I'll use for instance, it's not the best example, but that you remember the the Mark 42 Iron Man that was like $490 US before, and we were all kind of like, what? I mean, it was the deluxe one and whatever, but we were all like, gosh darn. The only other one that was like that expensive for Iron Man figure to come out before was that Silver Centurion Armor Up one that everybody doesn't really, I guess, does not like very much because they still haven't sold out of it to this day. So I could see this guy being under 500, just like, but if it's under 500, it's gonna it's gonna be 475, 485, something like that, like just barely.
Yeah.
So it might as well, it's in the same ballpark. So does it really matter? In the
All
end?
right. Well, Lane. Let's typical market show. I know you guys watch the, and a lot of you watch the pre-recorded market shows. So we're gonna get the Jalen Urso and the Vader and all that, but we're going to 6scalecantina.com. If you don't have 6scalecantina.com bookmarked, please go ahead and do so. It has all kinds of neat stuff on there, including crystal ball power rankings, which you can go ahead and vote on. But sticking with that Grogu, you do have to ask yourself, since they're giving us a Grogu out of nowhere, and they're giving us more announcements than ever in the history of Hot Toys, one of the figures ranked at number 34 on here from The Mandalorian is this, which they have teased, gentlemen. They have teased. Now, I wasn't fond of this hair because it looks like straw, but they've had a lot of experience with hair lately. So I know that they're reworking this, just like, when Hot Toys hears bad news or feedback, they'll correct it. But you do have to wonder, do they know that Katie Sackhoff is going to be in this movie, which I can't imagine that she wouldn't be. And just like Grogu, would they go ahead and give you an Artisan 2.0 with this? They're giving us everything else. So I think that this is a possibility of maybe something we got. I was thinking more, Lane, I'm going to go with you first here. I was thinking more they would wait till 2026, but look, it looks like even Revenge of the Sith 20th, they're not waiting for anything. So what do you think about this? Could this be a surprise?
Honestly, I don't think right now for Katan 2.0 because
they still have her in stock.
Yeah,
too.
I know.
And they also have Scarlet Witch in stock. They had that. They put her out. So I guess that doesn't matter. I don't know.
I don't see her right now. I think it depends. I think because the Mandalorian had so many figures, that was like the biggest line I think they've ever done. I think right now, if Bo-Katan is going to be a Mandalorian and Grogu, definitely I can see a new figure of her then. But I don't think we're going to see like a rooted hair one of her or anything right now. You can never ever with Hot Toys, especially with 2.0s, ever say 100% no, unless it's
especially with what's going on right now. I mean,
unless
did you really think, Lane? I want your honesty. Did you think this year that you were going to get the what is it, the DX10, the all these Terminator 2.0s, or even the Liquid? Were you even dreaming that?
T1000? Yeah, no.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, it's like, but I just can't see her right now. I don't see her next year.
Well,
I could totally see her though with the movie coming in, especially if it does well.
Second brother, if they do her, I hope the hair is better, which I imagine that they would. But they already teased this. So what do you think about this? Since we got Grogu,
I think if they're trying to tease, I think this is a tease because it's really nothing that would, would warrant it. Because like you said, you pretty much have the ones that's still available to order. Yep. And it's really not that much of a change to Bo-Katan for, just to throw hair on and to call it an Artisan. And, we don't want to get to the point where Artisans, we are at the point, I've just said it, we are at the point where Artisans where they're throwing hair on everything and throw it to the wall and see if it sticks. So I don't think she's a strong character, but there's nothing, swirling around to bring attraction to the character. Maybe when the movie comes out. Maybe different, different armor, maybe this, but as of right now, I don't see a strong need for it.
No, I don't see a strong need for this too, brother. And but it does make you scratch your head when you're seeing Grogu early. But I will say this: Grogu is not that she's not a major character, but Grogu and the Mandalorian, they are the Mandalorian. That is. So maybe that makes sense here. Shout out to Master Emily with the $5 super chat. I really, really appreciate that, my friend. You say little support, Aries. Appreciate that, Aries. Welcome back live. I hope for the Death Star Trooper soon, not the gunner, the trooper. Well, look, you have to ask yourself, Master Imwe, is this what they call you, baby?
The wizard.
Because when it comes to troopers and everything that they're coming out with Star Wars, we're going to get into Jalen Erso here, Lane. Just like the Terminator characters, when I saw Jalen Erso, I'm like, what? Because it gives me hints for other characters from Rogue One and some other things as well. But I think every trooper you could imagine, Lane, they'll probably do. Why not?
Well, they just put out the TIE Fighter, just remember, not too long ago, just like out of the blue. Like, here's the TIE Fighter pilot.
Yeah, I was shocked by that, yeah.
Like what? No, the timing of it may not have been the best, because I think people may have been a little indifferent to it a little bit, just because it just was kind of here.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. Yep.
I don't think people knew how to respond to it. I think it's cool that they did. Something for me about the figure is not translating, because that is like one of the guys normally I would think of about possibly getting. But I think, at least for the original trilogy, like, part of what made those guys was seeing them in the cockpit in kind of that, the old style cinematic way. I think since we've seen the TIE pilot, like, the TIE pilots haven't translated for me quite as much in the modern Disney stuff. It's just something about, I don't know, the costumes don't completely transfer. I want to see more, honestly, an AT-AT driver. They're similar.
Yeah.
I think for much more obscure kind of trooper style guys, I think I'd be a little bit more interested in them. Give me them and General Veers. We're all good to rock and roll, man. Somehow jigger up somehow an internal AT-AT cockpit where you can just kind of sit them down in there. Good to go. I think I'd be a little bit more excited for those.
Yeah, 2-pack.
Make them a 2-pack.
That would be a brilliant idea, actually. And it's not like they aren't going to be reusing some of the molds and other stuff they haven't used for other figures and stuff for Veers. I mean, the chest plate and stuff is the same thing practically the Mud Trooper hand uses. And even they can copy for all the other regular army guys in the Imperial Army use similar stuff.
Right.
But
yeah,
I think that figure, if that figure came out as like one of the announcements for May like if they were only doing a couple figures for May the 4th, I think that would be perfect for May the 4th. Would have been great for that, because I think people would be more hyped. Everybody be like, dude, New Hope figure. Doesn't matter what it is. It at least would be, people would respond like the Dewback and having the Sand Trooper Sergeant or something. At least that kind of response.
I think that should be a market for the Imperial officers.
Yep.
Yeah.
A market for them.
Admiral Piet. I mean, there aren't a ton of them, but like Admiral Piet, General Veers, who appeared here and there. I mean, Veers, he was the guy who was like the main bad guy in, Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade and stuff too. So he's been a bad guy, done some other roles as well. It's the same thing where I think some of the X-Wing pilots from A New Hope, there wouldn't do a ton of them, but if you did a Wedge Antilles, I think a big Starklighter, whatever, I don't even know the name of the character's name in the movie, but whoever was Red Leader, some of those guys, if you could get their rights, obviously a lot of those actors have died because, they're old, but like some of those guys popping in, I think there could be, if you have a Luke X-Wing pilot, I think you could have a market for some of those guys, not a big one though, but you could I think those guys would be perfect for like short run style figures where you make them just not the same guys, where you can use some of the same parts, but those would be really cool. I think there's a market for that, but it doesn't have to be for everybody, but you do a couple thousand of them and I think you can sell those.
Yeah, well, and when you talk about General Veers, we're talking about you guys are watching the Market Show live, baby. We've got Lane Kramer in the house. We've got second brother Avid in the house. We've got all of you in the house live. Don't forget to go ahead and smash that like button. I do appreciate the support with that. And thank you so much, Master Ibwe, for that super chat as well. As we're talking about that, when you spoke about General Veers, I actually think, a lot of people vote for him, and he's part in there because, you can come on 6scalecantina.com with the Crystal Ball Power Rankings. Just go to www.6scalecantina.com. There's still time to vote in March. You got the rest of the day today and tonight and all day tomorrow, the 31st. And you can change the order of these rankings. And all you have to do is believe. Come on. But you go on here. You can see everything that's on here. You can go ahead and vote, cast your vote. And then if there's something on this list that, you don't see that you think should be, fill out your name and what it is and send it, and we'll get it on there. But one of the figures on here, number 39, is General Veers, guys.
Man.
So we'll have to see.
It's funny just for I think for the older, like, kind of cinematography and stuff you saw in the original trilogy, where we've seen the same outfit, like, in Andor and some of the other more recent Disney stuff, because they literally copied a lot of, especially the helmet design and stuff. But I think this shot of General Veers, I mean, there's not a whole lot to differentiate him from any of the armored guys or officers we've seen, like in Andor. But there's something about this look where I look at him and he just looks so cool to me. But I've seen some of the guys. Classic. Now, it might be because it's more confined space and the lighting and stuff. But I see these guys out running around in, the same similar outfits and stuff in Andor. And I went, man, I feel like I should find these super guys feeling kind of cooler looking, but I really don't. Like, this guy looks cool to me sitting there right now.
With all the Imperial officers, all of them had some element of being unsure of themselves. This guy right here just have confidence on his face. Everyone else was like, okay, am I doing the right thing? Is Vader going to choke me out? But Veers was like, oh, I got this. Yeah,
you're right. He wasn't afraid. He did his bit. He was like stone cold, did his business, right?
Right. I mean, it was no shaking. It was no shaking with Veers. Yeah. Everyone else was like, ugh.
Everybody else was kind of worried about this, baby.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
That being said, if I had to choose between General Veers or getting Admiral Modi there as a figure, I would vote for Admiral Modi every day, as long as there's an alternate choke face head sculpt that we can switch out and a like hand grip thing. I love General Veers, even though he had a very limited screen time for Imperial officers. He was definitely, even a short screen time, he was a memorable bad guy for the amount of time we got to see him. But like Admiral Modi is just in one of, I mean, that actor probably made a decent living from just being like selling pictures, signing pictures of him with the choke face as he was doing that. So Admiral Modi would be my top Imperial officer to get, just because he's in the maybe most iconic scene that really let us know, oh my God, what is this guy doing? Like, he's just not even touching the guy, and he looks like he's strangling him to death.
All right, so listen, I'm going to take this one first. So, look, I think that there's a lot of laughs. You can get a lot of beers or a lot of chocolate milk, whatever it is that you like to sling down, and you can have a lot of laughs or a lot of conversations over Hot Toys doing this. But look, here's what I'm going to say. While I'm not shocked and appalled by this, because what have they been doing with Spider-Man, and what have they been doing with Iron Man, and what have they been doing with Christian Bale Batmans over and over and over and over and over again? So I kind of figured the way that they were going last year, panel here and everybody in the chat, that they were going to start giving us Darth Vaders up the wazoo. Perhaps a gold chrome Darth Vader, perhaps a silver Darth Vader, perhaps a Macquarie star design Darth Vader like Jack Pacific did with their quarter-inch scale. Perhaps any Darth Vader you could think of that they can do. So honestly, for me, I'm not surprised. Now, is this a figure for the Dark Jedi with everything that's coming out? And for me personally, I say no. There's too much stuff coming out personally for me that I've got to start really storing acorns like this Artisan Anakin that I'm getting in house. I'm not going to do this. I do think it's cool. I do think it's for some collectors, but I'm not so put out with this. Eamon, I'm going to go to you first on this because I kind of figured that they were coming. I'm just not going to get into it. But what is your thoughts on this with Hot Toys?
I'm trying to confuse. I'm trying to, like, okay, did they just switch roles with Mondo for a second? Because that's what it looks like. I'm sorry. I'm not. Excuse my term. I'm not trying to piss in anybody's coffee, but I haven't seen pictures of this thing up close like I'm looking at it now, and I'm sitting up there like, okay. Did some Mondo execs just run up and just change shit up? What just happened? Or someone got an old batch of LSD from the 60s and like, let's just put this out. I don't know. Because I'm just sitting up there. It's like, okay, why? I mean, and like I'm sitting. I mean, maybe it have an appeal if you're in your house and you just have a black light and you got a whole bunch of neon stuff going on there. You know what? I don't need to talk so much about it because I got all the neon tech Iron Man. He could sit right in the middle of that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Eamon. They're just staying with you real quick. They made a lot of those neon tech Iron Man, so they took them. They just don't sell for anything. But I would. How much is this limited to? I actually do either you guys know?
No.
1,500.
Well, how much?
1,500.
Okay, so
it's a very limited run.
Okay, so 1,500. So I think like the Darth Maul paperweight. You know what I'm talking about?
The shampoo bottle. I got one upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess because they're only making 1,500, it's a quick, easy money for them. But honestly, if I don't have this in the kind of like the black light or the light, whatever you call that, the fluorescent thing, it's going to work. It would just look cool, but weird for me. But with 1,500, that's where you can get away with this because they've got the mold. It's just the new paint job, and it's just easy money. And I'll tell you the truth, because it's Darth Vader, I think they're going to sell out of these. What do you think, Eamon, on this?
No,
I think they will.
They're not.
You don't think? You think it'll stay in there?
They're not. What's going to end
up?
Weird.
It is weird.
It's weird. And what's going to happen? This is for celebration, right? People are going to get up on it and look at it close. They're going to be like, damn, this thing looked like a Mondo. I passed. And then that damn thing is going to be on Sideshow 3 days after celebration. Mark my words.
I think you know what? You just convinced me. Lane, what do you think? Is Second Brother right? And what are you getting this?
The Second Brother, even though I know I'm playing to the cliche of the Roman emperors and doing this wrong, thumbs up for Second Brother's point. Thumbs down, time to feed him to the lions for this release because this release is stupid. There may be 50, there might be 1,000 people willing to buy this, but I don't think.
It's 3,000. Look,
3,000?
right? That's what 12-inch moon stream says here.
I thought it was only 1,500. I had seen because it was Japan only exclusive.
Now I don't think they're going to sell out of this for sure.
No, there is no, bro. They've had some. They're having things right now where some figures like the Modern Suit Batman went in stock on Sideshow. That Modern Suit Batman is 1,000,000 times cooler looking figure than that Darth Vader. Yeah. I mean, you have other options that you can get for around retail or below, like that DX from the Kenobi show Vader and stuff, which is 1,000,000 times cooler than this one. Right. Or if you need something totally, and I'll put in quotes here, wacky in comparison to a normal looking Vader, you've got that battle damage Vader that's coming. You could just wait, save your money, and buy that instead. Like this, I'm not meaning to be too hyperbolic on this thing because it's just a goofy Vader. But
and I have all the Vaders. Every Vader that came out, I have gotten, and this would be the first one. I'm like, no, I'm not doing. So
I own 2. I got and I got Kenobi.
All right, Lane, look at this. What Master M we said. I think it's possible with this because I think Eamon's bringing up a good point. When you get up close, it's just not desirable.
Well, no, but this is an exclusive. This is definitely coming out. They might. I don't know if they produced all of them, but this is definitely coming to.
They produced 10 of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could see them selling 10, but they'd probably have to sell them for $280 instead of $300.
Like with some Iron Man figures, don't they just put out like 300? I mean, they've done that plenty of times, right?
Well, they had like the 20 Coke ones, and then they put out the chrome and red ones, which were almost the exact same thing, but the red was slightly different, which I own that one. This is just.
I feel like it's a lazy release in a way.
Well, with all the exclusives they have put out in like the last 3 weeks, not just Star Wars. You had the Anakin. Now, obviously, that's from a couple years ago, but you had that Purple Rain Spider-Man. You have the
this is still in stock.
Yeah, you have the Deadpool. You've got what else? I know there's something I'm forgetting that came out recently. There was another exclusive that's coming. There were like 3 in 1 week, but anyway, doesn't matter. We have multiple exclusives or other stuff. This is like if Moose is correct there, where there's going to be some in other regions. For anyone of trying to get any of the exclusives, now this is probably going to be the last. The other ones are going to be coming out here in the next week or so, where you can pre-order them or to get them. This is the bottom of the barrel. I think more people would be interested in. I think more people would be interested in Purple Rain Miles Morales figure, because they're only doing 1,500 worldwide to that one.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and get that. That's actually one I'm going to try and get, because I'm actually getting some of the Spider-Man 2 figures, and I want to have 1 Miles. But this, I mean,
I'm right with you.
There are more popular general release ones that have come out. I think the Spider-Punk and the Miles G Morales, the Prowler one.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two, because those have been selling out. The special editions for those are over $400. I've been seeing them sell for now, more than retail.
Well, you were talking about. I got to bring this up.
This guy.
Here's the breaking news. Okay, I'm going to try to blow it up if I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy. Do you see the low stock remaining?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying. I think there's more Vaders coming, and I think part of the reason for this. Well, I think part of the reason for this, Lane and everyone in the chat, because you were saying, "Hey, just get this," but I think there's a limited time limit on this now. I think the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, I think the only way to do it justice is to focus on Darth Vader, which is what this is about. And I think they're going to give you the full Hayden Christensen head sculpt Darth Vader from this movie. I really, really do. And I think this is going to go. But you see low stock remaining on one of the versions here. What do you make of that, Lane?
I think that, because that's a special edition, right? Version?
This may be the collector edition.
Okay, maybe the regular one. Okay,
yeah, it's just the regular one. So that to me that brings up warnings. It's like getting close.
Both of these are going to be in the window where they're probably going to be going goodbye in the next few weeks, possibly. I think this is a really cool Vader. I didn't try to get this one because I already had 2 Vaders that were coming. But I think you make more a point there from the previous one we were talking about. You probably might just want to wait to see. They might do a Revenge of the Sith Vader with like this type of head sculpt on something, because they'd be able to triple dip basically.
Oh, I think they will triple dip on this. But honestly, Eamon, if you're going to give me an exclusive, and I want it to be something more like this. Now this, if they were going to do this for Celebration, I would buy this if it's limited to 3,000. I'd be all over something like this. Not the other thing that we just had up, which, like you said, like the Mondo. But I'm not surprised that this is going. I was kind of calling where I thought this was going to go out, but I thought that there were going to be some other Vaders. I didn't think that the one that I just had up on, but just piggybacking off that and this, I really would be surprised, second brother, if we don't get a Vader in the mask and with this kind of head sculpt for the 20th of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, like while you was clicking on this now, and I actually just went to my account, it's gone. It's on waitlist now.
Is it gone? Wow.
Yeah, I literally just checked collector's edition, special edition, deluxe version, deluxe exclusive. All of them are gone. All on the wait list now.
Wow. Well, breaking news here at the market show, watching 6 Scale Cantina. Let me know in the chat what you think of this. And let me know in the chat if you think that this is a sign that we're going to be getting more Darth Vader this year. I think it is, because, Lane, when you look at, like, when this happens with some of these Iron Man exclusives and that they give you, I mean, well, Iron Man's a hard comparison, Lane, because I feel like we get one, like last year, we got one like every 2 weeks.
Right.
But I think we're going to get to that with Iron Man, Spider-Man, and maybe some Batmans this year. And I think we may get that with some Vaders, Lane. So I think this is a sign that that's happening. I really, really do.
And this is, there's so much. Now, one thing I did notice, I hadn't looked at this figure in a while. I just realized that they're reusing the base for this guy with that Darth Malgus, because those guys are the same size. The movable base there. It's a thing. I didn't realize that they were actually reusing that one for Darth Malgus. I'm just looking right now, Amen, but I'm still showing the deluxe and the other Vader is almost gone.
Really? I'm looking at maybe people. I have it on live here now.
No. Yeah, no, because I see the deluxe exclusive and the special edition, both waitlist, but collectors and deluxe version. Deluxe version is still regular, like it's just not low stock or anything.
Okay, I just looked at it, refreshed it again. It says almost gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
But
see.
I mean, there's got to be teetering.
It's the collectors.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're both going to be gone here at some point in the near future. So if you've been on the fence about this, or if you have some maybe points you were considering using towards picking this guy up, is that better, Andreas?
And it's good to have Andreas IB in the house. Andreas IB has been a long time. Ever since I started this channel, I remember Andreas in here. So good to have you in here, buddy. What table you at? Let me know. We'll play you up.
This is a real. I just look at I haven't looked at this guy in quite a long time, but I forgot just how really cool looking this guy is. Like this.
Well, here's a special edition I would go with.
Yeah.
Because of that freaking
the cape, the flowing cape.
Whatever this freaking cape is, yeah, it is unbelievable. I mean, it looks like the Sideshow Mythos, doesn't it, guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that to me, that's an extra I'll pay for, and it's not that much more money. I think you're talking about what is
$375 versus $430.
Yeah, so to me that's worth it. I do think it looks good without it, honestly, with this cape here. But I really like that you can just have it. It's like a statue. It's unbelievable.
Does this one say it's using a nylon suit, isn't it? I'm probably assuming.
Yeah, I think it's using a nylon suit, right? And that's better than what we're
than the leather we're used to.
Well, that was I love the MMS 700, and I did a review on that for the channel members, the official 6 Scale Cantina ancient action figure theorist, but it was the same old suit. So I assuming you like the nylon better, but I think that this one comes
because the Lord Starkiller, that suit was I think one of the first ones with the full nylon suit, and that nylon suit on that figure is great. Like it's really good. That was announced before this one. So I would hope that they would use the nylon because that should last longer. But with Hot Toys, who knows, man? I mean, well, I know we'll be talking a little bit later with the Anakin, because they just use pleather for that figure, and that's kind of a bummer a little bit for that one.
Yeah, well, breaking news here. It's a low stock remaining warning, at least on the collector edition. I think that this is close to being on its way out. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then we're going to get into, we talked about that other Darth Vader. We're going to get into Jalen Erso now. But staying with some of these waitlist updates, some very interesting things that are going on right now on here. Did you know, second brother, that the special edition of Doctor Doom is already with a low stock remaining warning? I think this is due to come out in July or through December. What do you think about that? I'm not surprised with any of these now. I mean,
no, I'm not surprised with Doctor Doom. Not at all. I'm surprised it didn't sell out sooner. So yeah. With this, man, there's no. I mean, it's no brainer. If you're an MCU fan, you got to have a Doctor Doom. You have to. Now the thing is, I'm looking at that, looking up underneath their costume. If that's actual chainmail, that's a nice bonus.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. Sometimes these go backwards. Lane, like with this one, the special edition has the low stock remaining warning. Where if you go to the collector's edition, it's still available. But honestly, really, with both sides, once you start seeing one or the other, it's like a domino effect. But I thought that they would keep this on for a little bit, but I agree with you, second brother. I feel like if you're an MCU fan and you got Doctor Doom, but I think they're hitting their quota, right? I guess that all of these are more and more announcements, but less production of these announcements. But I will say this isn't the last Doctor Doom we're going to get.
No.
Okay.
No. Next few years, there's going to be a lot of Doctor Dooms.
All right. So this is the first one, but they're kind of giving you that whole. Here comes a FOMO with a lot of these, and here you go with this one. Low stock remaining warning. I was like, whoa, look at that with Doctor Doom. I just didn't expect it, but I should expect it because that's what they're doing with almost everything.
I wonder if just because, because slowly a little bit, Hot Toys is starting to dip its toe into some of these more common, like Marvel with some of these comic figures in their, licenses they can do. Makes me wonder, do you maybe need to keep your eyes on that Venom? Because could they have it cut off, even though, that one's been using the body and stuff from the old movie Venoms. But you need to probably, you might need to keep your eye out on and see how that one's going to this Doctor Doom, because that was, the next kind of comic release themed one that they did. So that might be something worth over the next couple months to keep your eyes out too.
Well, one Adam 12 says this Doctor Doom looks awesome. I've been on the fence on it, but I'm gonna wait for Robert Downey Jr. I guess the full. You're gonna get that too. The RDJ. So, Captain America. Yeah. So I want to talk about that 12-inch moose stream as we're gonna go into. We've been going over the figures. We went over that. What do we call it? The Mondo Vader, second brother, I guess. We already went over that. We went over the new Grogu. We're going to go over Jalen Rose, but 12-inch moose stream. Good job here, because that is another one that just went gone. And I'll pull him up on the screen. Is he gone already? So now he's hit the wait list. There you go. Okay. This is gone, fellas. So I'm not surprised on this. I really enjoyed the movie Second Brother. I had a lot of fun watching this. I really love seeing Harrison Ford too as the Red Hulk. I'm kind of hoping that they bring him back in the future, where there's a big threat and they need him to join the team. Kind of a hope, with that. But I'm not surprised on this. But again, doesn't come out until next month, and he's just gone. He's gone. So wow, and I didn't realize that.
I never realized that expectation date was so soon. Like, wow.
Yeah, me either. I didn't think it was April.
April.
That's like 2 days.
It's kind of quick. Yeah, I enjoyed the film when someone slipped and released it on YouTube, and I was able to watch it. I couldn't believe that. Woke up one Sunday morning and said, wait a minute, is this movie on YouTube? And someone actually streamed it on YouTube. I was able to watch it for the first few hours it was up. So, yeah, I'm more, this right here, I wasn't on the radar to jump on it, but that Harrison Ford Red Hulk, I was. Most definitely for that. So,
yeah, that's how long is that going to be able to stay? I mean, some of these you just can't tell.
Right.
There's
right.
a window. There's a window for all of them. So if you want it,
nice. I mean, I think it's good for them to try to do these feelers out for a little while and limit these numbers, where you're seeing a lot of stuff go waitlist, which means they're not going to be sitting on dead stock like they were like 2 and 3 years ago, which they got figures now. They trying to get rid of. It was one figure they was just basically it was Grievous. They was Sideshow was trying to give away. And it was some, I think it was a couple other figures they were trying to give away.
A couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it's so
like a free figure.
They're not trying to sit on dead stock no more. So it's good to turn around, to see this, see this stuff and see it, go up and waitlist that helps for sales for other things. But we still got that I could say that Jedi. I mean that Sith Lord called Darth Tariffs. If it's going to hit, and it's going to hit some of these prices, it's going to scare some people away. So
yeah, that's true, because that's definitely a volatile situation, and we don't know where that's going to go. But 12 Inch Smooth Stream goes, Captain America: Brave New World was up for sale for less than a farmer's fart. Well, a lot of them. That's why I'm wondering how long the Red Hulk.
Well, he's not coming till next year, so he's still a ways off.
Yeah, but some of these they put on waitlist lane, which is really weird, and they're not coming out for months. And I'm like, really? Now you know what the Artisans, they do that, but for some of the regular figures, it's like, wow. But I will say this again. Look, this is not the last Captain America you're going to get either.
Right.
So there are going to be a ton.
He's already been confirmed in Doomsday, so there will probably be a
and just the iterations, right? Valkyrie Magnus says, good. Captain America is sold out. I don't need that temptation in my life since I have the first one. Really? I mean, you don't want the temptation, my friend. You don't want to get filled up with a little bit of coffee. Let me go ahead and let's see here. Which one can I fill you up with? I wanted the right one. Well, Lane, I won't do this to you, but I'll certainly play this one, because I think you're gonna see this again.
Everything that happens now is happening now. What happened to then? We passed then. When? Just now. We're at now. Go back to then. When? Now. Now? I can't. Why? We missed it. When? Just now.
All I'm gonna say is, everybody who's in the cantina tonight, before you take your drinks and have them, be checking for any FOMO additives or any pre-ordered extra preservatives were added in there, because you might find yourself hitting certain buttons on your computer keyboard later in the evening.
So, all right, Lane. Well, keeping on that, I want your thoughts on this hitting waitlist already. But here's another one that hit waitlist. Kidpool is gone.
Yeah.
And this doesn't come out till July. So wait, it's April, May, June. That's a few months away.
I'm not surprised by Kidpool going waitlist. Because I think probably this is for Kidpool being been one where I don't think they got a ton of pre-orders on that one. I mean, just even Ladypool, she's in stock now and everything, and you can find her. As you were talking about some of the crazy prices on the secondary market, Ladypool is not one that is having crazy prices on the secondary market right now. I thought this figure was cool, but I think that's where you started getting a little bit deeper into with all the Deadpools and everything. I'm not sure that would have been the first Deadpool of the Deadpool core. Other people might have gravitated towards trying to pick up, even though Kidpool is funny as hell in the Kidpool scene. I still think it's a cool figure, but I think you have to be more. There's other figures, especially now, that are from that movie. People might have more interest in, like the X-23,
exactly.
Channing Tatum Gambit. Sorry, just need to get that out there. Get that guy out. Could you imagine, Amon, if they ended up just like doing Daphne Keene, X-23, and doing Blades, Snipes Blade? Like those are both really cool. But then they didn't do the other two, and we're like, Hot Toys.
Like,
We
what are
thought
you
you were
doing?
over this no team, not doing a team. I mean, they're not even technically kind of a team, but this
Well,
group of people.
I think Gambit they're going to do, but then about for that announcement, that Marvel announcement that just came through, I think they're going to stretch him out just a little bit more. So when when he's released, it's he's right in the middle, opposed to them just taking the risk of throwing out a Gambit now, and then they're going to throw out another Gambit when
have him in the consciousness of people a little bit and everything,
right,
for one later. But if they didn't complete that team, and I'm not even like, do I think like, oh my God, we got to have Elektra? She'd probably be the least character of all of them. I wouldn't, cry a river. But if they put out that Human Torch, which was a goofy, stupid scene. They put a figure of him out, which and not to put them out. I'm just like, the one guy we probably could have gone, okay, we don't need that guy, but not put out all 4 members of the Resistance. Like, I don't know.
But kind of in a way,
it's
kind of in a way it's a disappointment because you was expecting it. I know I was expecting an Elektra. I would have got it. And the Blade, of course, I already got Blade, but when you lead people to the river and think something is coming, you're like, wait a minute, okay, why haven't you guys brought this out yet? Same thing that they did with us with the Inquisitors. We are still waiting on the Inquisitors. I think our hope is for Celebration, for them to be released or announced, or the 4th. I think after that ship probably have sailed. I think
that ship has. Now the thing is that for those like Inquisitors, that ship may have sailed in the near term until Hot Toys needs a 2,000 figure exclusive. They need to put out for a month to fill time, like that Range Trooper, which I own and is a cool trooper, cool figure, but it's something they've already done. One of those, whether 5th brother or 4th sister, could just randomly pop up like, we need an exclusive for 2,000 or 2,500 for November, and then they're like, 4th sister Kenobi, and you're like, what? What?
Yeah,
where is this coming from?
Yeah, and that could kind of tick a lot of people off too, because it was like, okay.
But I'm saying they seem like it could be a character down the road where that's going to be when you see, or the zombie Death Trooper, like that one where we saw for a bit, where there was at least some stuff different that they had to make for it. But that was killed probably because the regular release, because the Night Trooper supposedly sold like crap from Ahsoka. So they made it exclusive. So the 5th brother and 4th sister, I think is a general release. They're dead. So you're never going to see those, but they could be just gone for a couple of years. But they could be one of those things that just pops up out of the blue as a exclusive. I think that's
and if they're going to do that, where they would do it, is it possible? Would be for more exclusives to try and even outdo what they did last year at Celebration, or for a May 4th. I say
no more exclusive, man. I bought like 9 last year.
All right. Well, listen, we got a couple of other wait lists, but before we do, and you guys are all watching the market show live, we got 72 in here. Don't forget to smash that like button. But now we're going to get to a very other interesting topic, and as Hayden Christensen would say, this is where
fun begins.
Yeah, I think so, because when you talk about the secondary market with this thing, it is absolutely off the charts. The midi-chlorian count is just unmatchable. But pulling this up onto the screen, and I've simulated a lot of data for everybody in here, and this is all of the buzz. But I will tell you, Eamon, I'm going to start with you on this, but I'm going to give my thoughts first. When I saw this on Instagram, and I saw that Hot Toys officially put out the photos, I'm going to shout out to your brother Cousins, because I saw that he put on Facebook, he showed the pallets and all the the shipping core, get the cartons, the containers all in there.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh boy, are we gonna get it from Hot Toys tonight? And sure as heck we did. But when I saw these blogger photos, I really, really did. Honestly, I had a big smile on my face because I knew it was at least going to be very, very adequate. And when I saw these photos, which honestly, they've been a little bit skeptical. I've been skeptical on these photos when they're coming out. I wait for Regan's videos, Justin's videos, everybody else who puts out videos to kind of get the video of it. Because when they first came out with that Jack Sparrow, I was like, eh. And then I saw Regan and Justin's reviews and these other. I'm like, oh, wow, this thing's one of the best figures ever. So I'm thinking the same way here. But this dude doesn't look like a toy. Again, this looks pretty sick. I was just blown away. Now I get it about the prototype, but for me, I just wanted to see what the damn figure was going to look like. And I don't like all this fancy stuff and fancy backgrounds. When I put out my reviews, I'm going to take out my light desk thing, the desk over my light, use my iPhone 14 camera, with a regular light and say, this is what's going to look like when you get the figure and you open it up from the mail. So you know what the hell you have. And that's what I want to see. From this picture here, I think I'm going to be very, very freaking happy. I was just blown away by this. The problem with this is, for me, it's only 3,000 of these. There's only 3,000 of these. But your thoughts on this first. My thoughts on this, I'm very, very happy, but I'm going to save my final thoughts. I'll actually have the figure in. I splurged. I'll have the figure tomorrow. So for those of you that are watching, if you're going to look for my review, I'll have a review Tuesday or Wednesday for sure. So mark it down. Subscribe if this is the first time you're watching. I'll have the review out in a day or two. And the proof will be in the pudding, because I literally will give it to you exactly how it is. Okay, with sheetrock in the background and some dirt. So I'm not going to give you any fancy. That's it. It's just going to be what it is. I think I'm going to be happy with this from what I'm seeing here. This looks freaking good. I'm just was relieved. I was relieved, Eamon. I'll let you go.
Yeah, it was just, like I've said before, we got a good scare of that the Fluffgate one that we saw. That I know that scared me, and that scared a lot of people. But when I saw the blogger photos, and a lot of people I heard people were complaining that it didn't match the prototype, and me and Jay talked about this literally today. We talked about this today when he was here, that I was like, Jay, you got to remember something here. His hair is darker. His hair is darker, and the reason why it's darker because he was on Mustafar with a whole bunch of heat and lava going around, and they're fighting to the death. So of course his hair would be drenched in sweat that would darken the color. So that would make sense for the variance of the hair color from the prototype to this.
Okay, I'm going to let you keep going, but that's a very good point. I know a lot about the Steel City, and when you're working with in coal and some of that stuff, you're 100% right, because Mustafar had that kind of environment where it literally would do that.
Right. So, you're looking at that, and I'm just looking at the lighting. The lighting on the prototype, it is what it is. The lighting for this is more for the scene that's where this comes from. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, this is Anakin right here. I'm like,
it is
wow.
It
I was beyond impressed. I thought the prototype looked good. I'm looking at this and like, this looks good. This looks good. And you said gave the number of 3,000. That's a big number compared to some of the exclusives that we got. But this was going to pretty much go in the category. I know a lot of people that would sit up there on the fence fence on it. Now they like clamoring at the hilt for it, and you say the secondary market prices are reflecting it. So this is, Hot Toys have really had to knock this one out the park for their Artisan line, because if they goofed on this one, that would have been bad, because you had the
it would have been devastating. Even though they came out with the Sparrow and they nailed it, even though a second brother they came out with the Heath Ledger Joker and they nailed it, this was the one.
Yeah.
They can goof up on the next one. They can't just goof up on this.
This one they couldn't, because this is the one that led us down that train. This one and the Joker came out almost at the same time, that led us down this Artisan journey that we're on, and that we're on bated breath. And they released since then, 5-6 Artisans after this. I'm talking about after the Joker, and
even more, because you got God Loki, right? You got Scarlet Witch, you got Black Widow, Dark Empire Luke, right, Lane? Black Widow,
Harley Quinn, yep.
Suicide Squad,
Spider-Man,
yep.
Poe Dameron,
yep.
Yeah, the
what's his name? Freaking Bucky.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. Which that's another one I think they need to hit too. Actually, that one I know there was some mixed response on the pictures for that, with his hair, similar kind of haircut thing and everything you're dealing with for that figure. But I think that's all of them. That's like what 7 or 8 of them, 8 or 9. Like that's a lot.
It's a lot, yes, and I feel like we're missing one.
Yeah, but really, what I suggest with all of us that's collecting these Artisans, make sure your humidity is right in your house. Make sure your climate that you have, particularly with these Artisan figures, are right. Because I can tell, I pretty much know over time, if it's not, the stuff they use for their hair is going to degrade, and it's going to frizz after a while, if that's not properly controlled.
Yeah, I got my I not only have a climate controlled, I have a dehumidifier that goes all the time in my collecting area, Lane and Second Brother. So that really helps. I've had the Warner Brothers 100 Wonder Woman for a while now, and that one is just as good as when I got it. But I got it in a really good climate controlled spot. I think that's the key.
Well, I've had to, what he's talking about, I've had to deal with, because, I own 2 D&D statues, which both have, like the same kind of rooted hair and stuff that you have to maintain. And I occasionally have to futz with them a little bit. That might be the one thing, if you're getting this guy or something, and this is true of any time for some of these figures, you do have to be sometimes willing to futz with the hair a little bit, because sometimes they will come a little messed up.
Like I've seen some people, Lane, that got like the Joker. Not so much the Jack Sparrow one. Like some of it looks perfect, some of it looks poofy. Well, then when you push it in, then it looks good. I think it's just kind of, you have to play with it. It's got that kind of, or what like is it? That kind of film or in it where you can kind of, like a wired tape, you can move it.
I think Second Brother made a mention too, like with that Aragorn, the in-art Aragorn, which had maybe the most perfect. I think the Anakin, the original, and that Aragorn probably had 2 of the most perfect head sculpts, looking like the actor on the prototypes.
I've got the Vigo right here, baby, but I have to play with the hair a lot.
Yeah, that was the thing. You had to mess with the hair, because
like I played with the Aragorn hair for a couple hours, Lane, just to say, but keep going. I did literally.
But I mean, you have to, because if you're not willing to do that, then because even this Anakin, which is similar length of hair, there's similar lengths you have to. It's not super short, but it's not super long either. You got to be willing to mess around with it a little bit, and I mean, even then, you're still not going to make your hair look quite as good as Brother Cousin's hair, man. He always.
Wait a minute, is that the Space Pimp, or is that the 13th Skull, or is that Brother Cousins, and whoever you are? Is this what they call you, baby?
Well, I am the wizard.
Well, I was going to say that right now he has a little bit more like CPA Brother Cousins right there right now. He's got perfect CPA glasses there. He looks like he's gonna help finish getting your taxes ready to go and all the hot toys you picked up this year.
Lane, you are so funny.
As long as I'm laughing at my joke, that's what matters, right? That's real comedy, isn't it? But hey, it's good to see you, sir.
Likewise, sir. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man?
Definitely doing good, guys. Good to have you here. Good to be here with you guys. Oh my God, definitely.
Good to have the space pip in the house. Well, look, we're talking. It's been a crazy show because we had some last minute waitlist news, and we've been going over that awesome new Mondo Darth Vader joke, and then we've been going over the Grogu. But listen, this Anakin, we were kind of reminiscing about how I was actually pretty impressed with I was relieved, I guess is what I was saying.
Yeah.
And talking with Lane and second brother, because I was really worried about this, but we were talking about the Aragorn, and I did have to spend like a couple of hours with that, but I have him where the hair looks right.
Yeah.
So I feel like with this, I think you can get the hair just like this.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to spend, Jay, I think, like Lane was saying, maybe a few hours on it. I really do.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the thing. I've seen a couple videos. It's funny. Right before I came on, I saw a video from Toys Asylum. Toys Assemble. I'm sorry. From Toys Assemble. And the hair on their figure, I thought it looked way better. Some people still said, "Oh, it looks like a wig." So, people, so a lot of people say they like it. Some people don't. Whatever. Everybody has an opinion. Like you, when I saw Thursday night when we saw the blogger photos, I was impressed. I was like, "This is what I wanted." Absolutely. Then I looked back at the prototype pictures. And I started to see what a lot of people were saying. The hair is lighter. The sculpt is a little bit more finer. And it looks, this right here looks amazingly good. This looks like a great, amazing figure. The prototype pictures looked like a person. I'm sorry. They did. They looked like a person. And I think people were expecting that. And then getting this, like you look at this by itself, not even thinking about the prototype, this looks fantastic. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. This looks good.
Yeah.
Come on. That's just fucking smoke show. It looks great. It really does. It does. It really looks good.
It is. I mean, that is like.
But when you go to that damn prototype, though, I think, and that's what a lot of people are hooked on. And when you think about the 2-year wait, and seeing that prototype, and then they see something that's maybe a little less, or to be fair, a little bit of a downgrade, which I think that's fair to say, because there is the refinements on the sculpt isn't there like it was in a prototype. The hair color isn't there. The shape of the hair is not there either. But does it have a good set of hair? Yes. If you put this on your shelf, is anybody going to be like, that is Anakin, that is Hayden Christian as Anakin? And the hair looks good, but I did see some. But aside from that, I saw some videos that were on the web. I'm sorry, that was on social media, and the hair to me didn't look good in that particular blogger post. The hair did not look good to me. I was like, damn. But then I just saw Toys Assembles video a few minutes ago, and the hair looked good. And maybe he spent a little bit more time judging the hair and making it look just right, because I do think that's what it's going to take. This needs to have the right lighting. This needs to have the hair needs to be done the right way. You're going to have to do some futzing with it to make it look good like this. And that's,
I agree.
And that's what it is.
But let me ask you this, because your second brother was bringing up a good comment, and I didn't even think of it, but it made complete sense to me. The darker hair, and not to put words in your mouth, I'm trying to remember what you said, second brother.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to that part in the lava scene and all through there, brother cousins, the hair does get darker. You're by all that lava, you got all that ash, it goes in your body. So I think that this fits more for that, because I do think there's a color differential between the beginning of the movie and when it goes to there. So what do you think about that? which
think
gives
that's
us maybe room for two versions. But you know what I'm going with there. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, me and Big Bro was talking about that earlier today, and I definitely can see that, and that's when it became a creator choice. Because I mean, even talking about another toy company, X06, they're working on I think they're finishing up the line or work. I think it's still in development. The line for the classic, the very first Star Trek series and those figures, and they were saying that off camera, the prop of the shirts and everything like that, the color differentiation is way different from what we saw on TV. But they had to make a choice of, okay, we're going to do the colors that match what people saw on TV and not the actual prop, because this is how people remember it in their minds. So I think, you know, when Big Bro was bringing up the whole thing about in those darker scenes when Mustafar and Lava and how the camera work was, yes, his hair did appear darker. And that's where it became a creative choice. The problem is that's not what we were sold. And that's the problem right there. That's not what we were sold in that prototype. We were sold a version that would have slightly lighter hair. And that's where I think this is where a lot of this discourse is coming from. This is where a lot of people are like, damn, because I'm looking at it in the comments. You could even see it on Toys and Symbols page, which I think he has one of the best. They have one of the best reviews out up to this point, and it's got like over 50 comments, and you're seeing it back and forth. You're seeing some people talk trash, and let's be honest, there's some people out there that's talking trash because they're talking themselves out of it because they weren't able to get it.
Oh yeah,
and they're trying to talk themselves out of it. That's part of it. But then there's another part where it's people like, yo, I pre-ordered this. It's not enough for me to cancel, but I am slightly disappointed. And I'm kind of in that boat. Like, oh hell no, I managed to get a pre-order on this, so I'm definitely canceling. I'm definitely keeping it. I think it looks fantastic, but am I slightly a little upset that it's not exactly what we saw, or not even in some way? There's some big misses from the prototype with this one. Yeah, I am. I am just a little disappointed. But from what I saw from the Toys Assemble video, all in all, you're still getting a great figure. So,
absolutely, no, great comments there. And Eric Hankey's in the house. Hello, everyone. Justin McFly says positive vibes, and that this is hilarious here because it leads me right into what I want to do. 12-inch Moose Stream says, I'll sell my Artisan Anakin when it hits 3K. Don't hit me. Look, you have to wonder, 12-inch Moose Stream. Is this what they call you, baby?
The Wizard.
wow.
Oh man, we're just so fun to be back live. All right, so listen, when he talks about this, the 12-inch Moose Stream, I do want to get into this because this is a situation. Now, I followed very, very closely what happened with the DX33 Artisan Joker, off the charts. What's happening with the DX39 Jack Sparrow, the Artisan versions of both of those, off the charts. We already know what's happening with the Idart Gandalf and the Artisan prototype, if you will, Wonder Woman, both of those off the charts. I had a sneaking suspicion if this turned out halfway decent, that it was going to blow all of those away, unless it was a disaster. And this thing is just looking pretty darn good. But I'm going to bring up some stuff here, guys, which is going to be really, really interesting. You talk about Toys Ensemble. So let me go ahead and bring up their website. And, I don't know, maybe it's in stock now. I'll pull it up. But you can see it's sold out.
Oh,
yep.
At $1,115.
Yep.
Shipping calculated. Look at this, guys. Shipping calculated at checkout. So this is a $1,200 figure.
Yep.
And
check, please. Not that check. My coffee check.
This is from
getting off this train.
Well, and I'm going to go more. Let's go ahead and go to Tim Cent, Toys Buying Agent.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought from both of these before. This is really good. Let's see if he has it in stock. Out of stock. Now, here's an interesting thing. I was messaging Tim Cent back and forth, And this is what he said to me. And I'm going to start off again with you, Jay, because we talked about this.
Yeah.
He was messaging me. He's like, because, I got a lot of figures off him. I actually think I got the DX33 and the DX39 off of him, right? And he said, he goes, look, Aries, he goes, I've never seen anything like that. He goes, a lot of people are just, this is insanity. He goes,
He
this
can't even
one
put it
is
up.
just, I can't even, I get no haggle or anything. It's just gone.
Yep.
I mean, and so I'll show you. I mean, it's just, and it's, so, and I'll pull up this one here. Let's see if I can pull this up onto, if I have the right one. I think it's Toys for Adults. We all know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Toys for Adults, amazing seller. Wow. Okay. I swear I just had this up. I wanted to show you that he sold 2 of them. It's out of stock. Jay, at $1,269, this did not happen with the Artisan Joker. Okay.
Nope.
It was up
No.
around 900. Same thing with the Sparrow, but not this.
And Jay, I told you this. I told you we was doing your show.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, I said it once before, I'll say it again. Anakin brings them out. When this thing was announced 2 years ago, I did a live stream early in the morning. And I remember I have never, from Good Morning Grails to doing figure reactions, I've never at 8 in the morning had 170 people in the chat when this was announced. And this was I mean, that just shows you how powerful Anakin is and how people love this character. And I mean, I'm not amazing. I mean, I'm not amazed at all by this. This is going to be in areas we talked about it earlier. This is going to reach up to a $2,000 figure. It is. Will it
it's
drop
already selling like in some of them. But go ahead, go.
Will it drop? I think at some point, because what goes up must come down, but only by a little. I still think, like you were saying, I think this is still going to stick. This will stick around at the $1,000 range. If you look at, I call her Artisan, but she's not. But she's in spirit the first Artisan. Wonder Woman 100, still going for $800 to $1,000. Still,
yeah.
Anakin is going to be in this same, maybe even more, because I mean, let's face it, Star Wars is, it's more popular. It is just, that's what it is. So yeah, you're going to have, this thing is going to stay high. It's going to stay high for a while. The only way that it may dip is if they do a Dark Side Anakin, and even then you're still going to want people to want that light side. You're still going to want people that want that version. So I don't know, but who knows what tricks Hot Toys has up their sleeves. But at this price right here, I mean, it's hard for me because it's hard for me to wait, to be quite honest with you, but I must, because I can't do this at this point. For me at this point right now, I can't do this. But there's a part of me that does, because we waited for 2 years for this damn thing. But we must wait. Pre-orders come. I got a pre-order, but we got to wait from Sideshow, and that's just what it is. But I mean, the thing that I'm scared of, somebody paying this much for this, and they get it from overseas, and they get it from somebody that's not Tim Sen, or they get it from somebody that's not as, forgiving as like a Sideshow, and they get it, and they have a problem with that hair. The hair becomes unglued, or the figure has some type of malfunction, and they paid this for it. Yeah. That's just heartbreaking, and that's the thing that I'm like, ugh, you know what I'm saying? It kind of gives me a
well, this was from the United Kingdom, okay, and this actually just went up because it was not at 21.93.33, I think, but my goodness, and not including the 103.52 from the United Kingdom. I think this is too much, but you're seeing some of them like that on here. But I've never seen Tim Sen. Toys Assemble, fairly new. Heard a lot of great things about them. Toys for Adults. Never seen these guys just run out of these.
Yeah, it can't even with Tim Sen. It can't even stay in stock. It can't. I refreshed and caught it one time, put it in my cart just to see what the pricing would be. And then I was like, nah, I'll wait. And then refresh the page. It was gone just like that.
And here's the thing, and I'm going to go down the panel and get to go this way with it and get to Second Brother and Lane. But I feel this because I watch, like Brother Cousin said, Eamon, the Warner Brothers 100 Wonder Woman. And, I just saw Hawk Wars sell that last month for $1,100 US. Sold, gone, new.
Lord.
And then I just saw one, I'll pull it up in a little bit, that had damage across the shoulder. Like, I'm not kidding you, like a crease on that kind of figure. And they pointed it out. Still, with 14 bids, sold for $800 with the damage. $800 with damage. That tells me when you have a figure like this and you're looking if you're going to be able to sell it in the future. I mean, that Wonder Woman sold for $400, $405. He just made double.
People are
but
actually
I feel
selling
like
pre-orders too.
Yeah. What's that?
People are actually selling pre-orders. Like I've seen, if you go to some of them eBay listings, some people are selling like, $1,000, and you look at it like you don't even have it in hand yet.
When it first popped, it was like $800 to $900 just for the pre-order itself.
I had someone offer me there for like $800 and something because they'd already paid off their pre-order for it. But they gave me even like 7 or 8 hours to respond like the next day. But I got to pay tax money back this week. So I literally can't afford it. So I was like, gosh darn it. But I guess that was a bargain. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to end up getting this figure because I am, just on the wait list, kind of. I would totally get it. But, this is just going to be one probably I've got 5 other artisans that I managed to get actually pre-ordered. So I can't really, complain too much or anything. So, but it came out good. I think the problem is, cousins, we talked about it a little bit earlier, that this is like this, and I don't even think I thought the Anakin prototype was really, really good, but I was still like a 9.3.4 out of 10. So it was almost perfect.
Yeah.
That Aragorn in art was the perfect 10 out of 10.
I agree.
Like prototype. That's the best prototype of a human character.
Yes.
I mean, there have been aliens and other stuff that you could compare, or almost as just for the likeness and look. I mean, I could say Savage Prey, that figure, if you go by perfect look versus how it looks in comparison to the original source material, that guy's a 10 out of 10 looking like the original guy.
Yeah.
But that there was a drop off for that, which affected that Aragorn, because you can find Aragorn, people have sold, and I've seen them sell on BSTs for as little as like $4. Now I'm putting in quotes as little, so like expensive, $480 to $500, which is retail ish price for him.
Exactly.
We normally, for some of these, we've seen them more, but because there was a drop off. Now that's not going to happen with it. Now I think I don't quite agree where I think this one is going to stay up like $1,000 or something. I think eventually, now that's to put in the fact it's still going to be in similar range where I think Dark Side Anakin used to be at one point, where it's still going to be like $800, $800, $900 for the figure. I think it's going to go down some eventually, but it's still going to be one of the most, for going forward for the next few years, it's still going to be, if not the most expensive Star Wars figure, like individual character figure. But I think we can never say it's going to be there forever. There are too many 2.0s and other versions of characters they're doing. Look, I saw someone put Aries. I don't know if you ever were collecting the time or you guys saw it. I saw someone selling that Batman 2-pack, the Dark Knight Returns 2-pack with the actual full Bruce Wayne and the Batman. Obviously, I know for a while we have that 2.0 coming later this year. But I saw someone sell that 2-pack for $350.
Damn. Ooh, they needed the money. Ooh.
Yeah, but I'm just saying where that used to be like Aries.
A grail.
I'm willing to bet at some point that was on your market. If you were doing it for DC, that would have been one for DC line. Would have been one of the more expensive ones, like right alongside the Jack Nicholson Joker original
Well,
one or something.
Well, and here's the thing, Lane and guys, and we're going to get to Jalen Urso and then end the show with that, but and a couple of these predictions here when it comes to that for Celebration, but when you look, this is only 3,000 pieces, and again, I'll pull this up as I was pointing out, and Jay, I'll go back to you. Here's Hawk Wars, and here's Wonder Woman, and not even a best offer, just gone. $1,120. Now it's new. It's new. Okay, but still. So at one, just right up here on the screen, you're seeing it, and then one just about the one that's slightly damaged, just from this, a few days ago, $790 with 14 bids used. Dude, that kind of shows you where Anakin could go because. Look, even if they come out with the dark side version, which I think that they are, it's too easy. And we talked about what if they could take that base with the dark side. We're going to go into the Celebration, predictions for Star Wars here, but they're making that crazy fire base for the Scarlet Witch. You have to wonder, would they give you a fire Mustafar base with dark side Anakin, swap out the eyes and call it a day? That doesn't necessarily bring the value of the regular Anakin down because that's the Anakin at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You have the regular Jedi Anakin the rest of the movie. So you're still going to want to have that. But when you look at something like this, where you have the shoulder thing, this kind of shows you the future. Because hasn't this Jay been out for a couple of years?
It's been, what has it been, 2 years? About a year and a half?
Yeah. No, what's going to happen with Anakin? I think he'll go a little bit more than this at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it has been 2 years. Because this came out before Anakin. Yeah, so it's been 2 years, and you're right because we know damn well that it is too easy for Hot Toys to go ahead, swap out those eyes, and go ahead and give us a dark side Anakin. And if you don't believe they're going to do it, I mean, just look what they did with the Joker. The damn Artisan Joker wasn't even out, and they did it with that.
They did that real quick. The Batman imposter, yeah,
exactly.
Christian Bale suit, yeah,
exactly. So we know that they're going to do that, and I mean, if you look at that in the Artisan Joker, it remains untouched. Like it's still going for it's still selling for $700, $800. So I think you're right. It will stay high. I kind of agree a little bit with Lane. I don't think it's going to be. At some point it will come down a bit, but I think it's going to still stay in that 1,000 to 800 mark. And then if you're savvy enough to go to like BSTs or know people or know a friend or somebody within this community that's trying to sell it, you will. Because even the people that are selling, because the thing is, the person that sold this Wonder Woman for $790, I'm not looking at what they made up front from this because. When they were done paying the seller fees and all that, they probably only got like $680. You know what I'm saying? $680.
Yeah. On eBay,
$680, $690. So if you can meet something, so if you can make a deal with somebody and they need the money and they like, hey, I got $700 for a brand new Wonder Woman, and that guy needs $700. Guess what? That guy's going to sell you, to you directly. So I see the same thing happening if you look hard enough, you'll be able to find it. But also, we're talking about some things to look at with Anakin. It's the exclusivity of it. One, the fact that yes, it's a Star Wars character. The fact of it is that it is Anakin, and people are going to want that variation. They're going to want that version of Anakin. So if so, I do think it will stay high. The only way that it won't is if it depends on what they do next and how they bring out this dark side Anakin and how dope it is. Like if it has the dope base or they change up that face sculpt just a little bit, yeah, I think then that will become the new Anakin to go after. And the thing of it is, there's another thing we have to take into consideration is that there are more Anakin figures on the market now. When dark side Anakin was a thing, first of all, we know it's set for a while, and then it just went up, and then it just shot up through the roof, and it was the business for years. But at that time, we didn't have a lot of Anakin figures. Now we have this Artisan Anakin. We have Padawan Anakin. We got pretty boy Patrick Dempsey looking Anakin from Ahsoka around the corner too.
You're talking about church boy Anakin. That was
church boy Anakin. You know, so we got and oh shit, now I forgot we got Clone Wars Anakin as well. So you know, it's.
I was gonna say you guys for that Ahsoka. You mean Death Stick Anakin with that expression on his face, especially like when you saw him like pose during one of the things on one of those special BART speeders with his apprentice, and I was like, kids, this is why you don't Jedi, Death Stick, and drive with your Padawan at the same time. That was a running joke for me between me and a friend of mine because that was Death Stick Anakin, because that is what it looked like he had. Because somebody looked like they were on something before he expressed himself there.
I do want to say something here right before we go to Jalen and then get to a couple of these celebration things here. And I'm pulling this up, but I want to pull up the everything here. Just bear with me. Hot Toys on Sideshow and kind of sorted out best-selling wise. A lot of you know I do that on the regular pre-recorded market show, and I'm doing that here on the market show here with all the special guests. And putting this see if I can go ahead and sort this out, bestsellers, because I looked at it earlier, and I want to point something out. And it looks like I kind of messed this up a little bit, so bear with me. But when you look, my point with this is, as I get this sorted out, join the wait list for the Artisan Anakin, because if it just may convert, because I've heard of people who are converted, and I'll tell you why. Because even though the figure is great, there are there's a lot of money involved here, and people may not be able to pay the piper now that this is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, Eamon, and I'm going to go to you with this.
And you would think, too, because we're probably still a couple months before it's going to arrive.
Oops.
Maybe there might be an early, in the next couple of weeks, like an early first batch. But same thing, like I got, even before some people got notices, like the Sparrow Artisan, some people are not going to get it till June, possibly. And I found that out from customer service like a couple of weeks ago. They were saying all the way to June.
Oh, wow.
It could take to come. So you even right now, where I'm kind of like, I don't think I'm going to get this, end up getting him. But there could be over the next couple months, people may have, didn't get tax money they thought they were going to back. They're not going to get a bonus maybe that they thought from work they were going to use to help pay it, stuff like. And that's true. Just that's true for, you would probably say, Aries, for a lot of figures you might see on Waitlist or something like that. Don't think it's like I did Winter Soldier or something, even though I didn't think, that one's gone, because you're going to see these figures pop up here and there. So it doesn't hurt to take them to put it on.
Absolutely. And look at the Anakin here, because for last time I checked, this was pre-ordered a long time ago. This was way down page 9, 10, 11, 12 on Sideshow when you sort it out. All of a sudden, this is all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, number 10. Well, I think what my point is, Lane, I think the wait lists are converting, and people are. That's why this is moving up. So I think I would join the wait list if you want the figure. It may convert.
Yeah, Lane. And I don't think the wait lists, they allow you to do payment plans.
No, you got to pay for it.
They do.
Oh, you can?
No,
okay.
You can.
You can use points.
But then too, when you get into this artisan game, these artisans come out way down the line. And I always preach, if you're going to get in this game like this, then payment plan is your best friend. Because nothing hurts more when that piper comes due and you got $525 coming out your account, especially in this climate. Because like you said, a lot of waitlists going to convert, considering where the current climate is, people losing their jobs left and right. Things are coming disposable. So
yeah,
you got to plan. You got to plan accordingly. You can't go out here ordering artisans and not have a plan, because those are the figures. Those figures will hurt you.
I can tell you, at the top of the year, right after Christmas, it was January 2nd. I got the notification for Jack Sparrow, and I was like, shit. And I looked at it and I was like, and I was like 400, and I was like, it was 556 at the top of the.
I had to cancel some of my pre-orders. I mean, you're right, and that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of collectors may do it.
I had to do that for the Scarlet Witch. Like, just I was earlier this year because I knew I had the ATRT. I knew I had the sculpted Joker. At the time, I thought I was also going to be getting the. I had on pre-order the $460 supersized Venom from Spider-Man 2, and like just those three things were already released, and I knew that they were going to come around the mountain when they come. And I already had beyond that guy. I had Harley, and I had the Black Widow. I had those on payment plan. That's how I'm paying those. What was it? The Batman. The Batfleck 2.0. I had that. I got hit by the what do you call it? The Flash Bat Cycle. I got that actually from Hong Kong.
All those are waitlisted.
Yeah.
Well,
so
the Bat Affleck isn't due to come out. That's been waitlisted for a while.
Yeah. Well, the original version did a while ago. The more in the last couple months. The deluxe one did.
All right. Well,
but yeah, they'll come and smack you in the head if you're not careful.
Well, listen, guys. I have to do a very, very special shout out to Mr. J, because he says, don't forget when episode 3 comes out again in the theaters around May 4th, collectors going to want their Anakins on the shelf. And all I have to really say to you, Mr. J, because I almost didn't put that together, is this what they fracking call
him? The Wizard.
Eamon, Wayne, brother cousins, is it possible that your Dark Side Anakin comes out when the movie comes out for May 4th?
Nope.
No. Not at their current pace. They're on the InArt.
Would they do it? Stuff. Well, when do you think that they would do this Dark Side Anakin? Would they do it at Celebrate? Like, they got the head sculpt now.
Oh.
So when would they do it? I totally forgot the movie's coming out again.
Yeah, it is.
I know. I plan to go to that one.
I'm not sure.
Right now, it'd be too predictable. It'd be too predictable.
Well, they did that. Yeah. But they're hard to predict because of the Batman imposter Joker, right? But then again, didn't they wait 3 months, though, to come out with their DX one? That kind of was weird.
Well, I can tell you that Batman Artisan Joker was a tester, quite frankly.
You think so?
Yeah, and that was a test to feel the air, to feel the air with that, and see where the sales were going to go, and see how many they were going to, because I got one, and to see, okay, is this Artisan hype real? So I think we're beyond that. I think we probably not going to see that Dark Side Anakin. If you're talking about an artisan, probably about another, maybe, I would say, if they were to do it, you probably see it in the summer.
I would like that. I mean, I would think that would give a little bit of space.
Yeah, I was gonna.
But I'm wondering, just with the events, if they would throw it in.
They're kind of unpredictable because.
Yeah, I know.
It would make sense. Okay, this would make sense. It would make sense for them to let this Artisan Anakin allotment to be completely full, let it to be completely sold out, so nobody pulls out. You know what I'm saying? Because if a Dark Side Anakin comes on and it is great, there will be some people that be like, "Yo, I want this," and then jump back in. But this gives collectors the opportunity to get another Artisan Anakin. So I don't know. This is hard. It's really hard to tell. If they do it, I think it would be a quick run. I think it would be something that would come out right away, honestly, and it would probably be very limited if they do it now. It'll probably be as limited as the first Artisan Anakin.
But that would be so frustrating. If you're right, because here,
they never.
Some
done
people
that
are frustrated
before.
with this. Well, I mean, with Anakin, I would, because Jay, didn't I tell you over the phone earlier that it would make more sense if they did 5,000 or 6,000 of them? That way, people can get them, and they would go.
Yeah.
But so if they did like limited, like 1,500 or 2,000, that would just be like, that would suck. I hate to say it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
not enough.
It wouldn't be. I wouldn't think it would be smart business for them. I think the smart thing to do would be give us like 5,000 to give us a 5,000 run of those and just.
Well, and I think that they wised up. Don't you guys think, Lane and Eamon, with the Black Widow, where we got 6,000? I mean, it's technically 6,000 because you got 2,000 without the gauntlet of freaking Thanos.
2,500 without the gauntlet. And
right. So that's. I think that's more reasonable when you have.
I just thought how they could do it. I just thought how they do it. No, they do what they did with Luke. They give us one Artisan one, and they give us one with sculpted hair. Problem solved.
Yeah. I think you're right.
They get the best of both worlds.
Forgot about it.
There's going to be people out there that are going to be like, look, I prefer the sculpted. They have another chance with a dope base, rolling eyes. Yeah, all the people that Dark Side Anakin of yesteryear. I mean, they've already said to hell with grails, so it is no more grails. Let's be honest. So
yeah, they're like instant grails. It's like instant oatmeal.
They want they're grails for as long until the next one get announced, or
there you go.
To the next movie or the next big thing that catches people's attention.
The correct term, Lane, is they're ancient action figures now.
There you go.
You got to wait till they've been locked.
That's that marketing.
Locked away and been wrapped up and mummified, and then you find them after 1,000 days.
No.
Oh my God! Make sure you guys smash the like button. Anarchy Bronze with the 279 super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Did you could swap the Darth Maul eyes? Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
To the Artisan Anakin. I think JB Collections in the house and brought that in. Good to see both of you, and hi to everybody here. But that was pretty freaking cool. And you know what that kind of reminded me of when I saw the video and of that collector putting that on Instagram and showing how easy he took tweezers, popped the eye out, and popped the eye in. So really, if I'm a business executive at Hot Toys, and I'm sitting there with JC Hong, and I'm sitting there at Howard Chan and all their executives, or how they do it, it's almost like they got to be morons with how many 2.0s and how many variations they do.
Right.
Pop in these eyes because they already know we're going to a lot of people are going to complain why this or that anyway, but they're still putting it out and selling it. This one they'll definitely sell. It's a Dark Side Anakin. It's not going to be like the purple cat woman or whatever that the bat whatever the bat woman is there. It's not going to be like the gold and black Batman that's still in there. This is Anakin. They could put out 10,000 of these. I think they'll sell. So they have to do this, Lane. I really think they have to do this because it's just dumb business if they don't. It's too easy. They just pop the eyes in now. Thanks for the super chat.
There are so many things that make stuff easy, but that we don't do them. No, let me correct that statement. We think they're going to be easy, and usually there's something to make it harder. Usually the actual easiest path with a little bit of work is usually, if you went that way, it would work out better for you. But I mean, I can see them doing another Anakin, but I think they might have a little bit of time. It really all depends what's on their schedule, and they have so many figures. The one thing that could even delay it for a little while is I think that is the switch in the business model in the past year and a half with all the exclusives and stuff, because they have to spend time and effort making those in a short period. It doesn't matter, even if they are smaller runs. As we talked about in the last 2 weeks, how many exclusives have we had popped up that now recently people started, picking up and whatever. I think that could delay some of those things. Speaking of, with Galen here, Urso. Now, real quick, I had a question for you, any of you guys, especially because I know you guys are sometimes a little bit like with the weekly shows, and Aries, just because you have to check all this stuff every week, kind of keep track of what's going on for market chart show and everything else. Now, is this guy supposed to? Now I know it's a Japanese exclusive, but it's like I heard the box cover art. So is there a possibility we might see a slightly different version of this guy become available eventually, or is this going to be like, some of the older troopers like that were, only in Asia, like you had to go over there to get him, kind of thing? Is he just supposed to be this event?
It's too much money.
Japan?
It's too much money on the table. It's too much money on the table because they're gonna see how this thing sells. If this thing sells out, all of a sudden is exclusive. They're gonna change the box art and they're gonna bring it to the States. It's too much money on the table.
I agree, and I think that you can have different versions of this. You can even go. I hate to say it, and I would love it with this because the head sculpt looks insane. You can go artisan with this, just like you did. You absolutely could, because this head sculpt looks, at least to me, guys, I think it looks insane.
Oh, no, it looks amazing.
A friend raised this to me, like, because I was asking him, who's collected Hot Toys for years, because he says he could see this being like what you guys are saying, but he said think back not to this quite as cool a figure, but that Sith Trooper. Originally, there was like the exclusive with a specific type of box that was for the special event, and then on Sideshow, even the Sideshow, they put up a version of that with a slightly different box art, but it was basically the same figure, pretty much. So he said that could be something, like, because he didn't think if they're going to pay the money and put together a figure like this now, years after the movie came out, that they would just do 1,500. But it's Hot Toys. You never can 100% tell.
Yeah, and Jonathan O'Kane says, I hope they don't mess with the prototype for the Artisan Black Widow. That figure is, I know, dude, there aren't many Artisans I'm not getting. There's a couple I just about into the character, but Artisan, let's go. Yeah, they can do this. But here's I think they can bring this to the States. They can offer an Artisan version of this. They can offer a different variation of this. And I think that this is an experiment, but at least for me, I'm seeing that they're coming out with a lot of figures and even head sculpts where they're not producing as many, but I still think that there's an R&D investment in this. Okay, there's a certain amount of investment where they will find a way to, utilize at least part of the mold or part of this again. But I think this looks insane. Are you surprised, Jay, that it's this limited? When I looked at this, I was like, whoa, Rogue One. But man, are you surprised at how low it is? I feel like it's inevitable it's going to go more.
This is a hard one, man. Because in some ways I can see why they made it super limited. And then the thing is, it's like, why now for this piece? Like, where are they going to go? I mean, well, that's kind of weird to say because we know we got Andor around the corner. So yeah, I get it. But I don't know. I would love for them to. I agree with Big Bro. I think they're leaving money on the table by not bringing it over to the States. But there are so many figures and so many other characters that they can give us. So the fact that they're giving us this one is great, but it pains me that there's going to be people that are not going to be able to really want this and not going to be able to get it. And that's to me, I just think that's bad business. Yeah.
Here's where I want to go with this.
Lord have mercy.
Here's another and if you're doing Rogue One and you're going to come out with 2.0s and a Terminator and of this and of that and of Batman, and how about a 2.0 of Jyn Erso, baby, since you're doing Ersos and you're doing Rogue One? Can you even imagine, Jay, if they did this for their booth at Celebration or for May 4th or for something here, and they made it exclusive? Because I think that this would just be this may be where they're going or why they put that out. I mean, I feel like not that he wasn't a very important character in Rogue One, but I feel like that the fact that they put out him, that all the characters are on the table.
I
for
think
Rogue
so.
One.
I think so because it's weird they put him out, and that it's a lot. This figure is long gone. You know, you have to go in the secondary market to get it. She has dipped a little bit over the years, but imagine if we can get her with an Artisan. She was already a great figure. So, but if you look at paint apps, she is starting to show her age, whatever version you have. So modern day paint apps, you want to throw some rooted hair on her, I think this would fly off the shelves. So you're maybe right. That maybe Galen may be just a lead in just to get this one or to get any other character. So it's crazy times. If this comes out, I mean, we would have to do a wellness check on Lael. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I do. I do think the 1/6 scale man would go. Would probably be. I know he loves those figures, and especially if the figure comes out looking like this. I mean, this looks like Felicity Jones, and this is actually a picture of her. But some of these artisans and some of these in art figures are looking like the pictures.
What could possible that could trigger something like that for licensing or other stuff, even though she's not announced or anything like that. But what if in episodes like 6 through 9 or 9 through 12, which are like the 2 years leading up to the Rogue One movie timeline wise, if she has the cameo when they see Saw Gerrera, because it might be a time period where she was part of his resistance movement or something like a year and a half before, or 2 years before the events of Rogue One, where I'm just saying, because obviously she cannot meet Cassian because she has not met him till Rogue One. But if they have a scene or part of an episode, which is about, because I mean, this is a 12 episode series, second season. So they have more time to play around with stuff. If she had a short cameo in one of the episodes, appearing in it just to show up, where they could use that, and maybe they'll do a Cassian, and they would to help us get an Andor, maybe because Jin actually being in there, because she might be considered a marketable character.
Well, and then they could give you the second version, Lane, because if they just put this out for Rogue One and then you're talking about the cameos, then they have an excuse to use the R&D again.
Yeah, but I'm saying at least a minimum, maybe if she has a short cameo, because we know like that what do you call it? That Mandalorian super commando that showed up in Ahsoka for 3 seconds. They made a figure out of him. Now, admittedly, she's got a head sculpt, but like you said, they've done the R&D already for that.
Hey, we had the Maul from Solo Maul.
Yeah, so they could. Yeah, for like a hologram version of him, pretty much.
A hologram, and they still made the figure.
Yeah, so like if she made a short thing, that could be a way you get where they don't necessarily have to go back to Rogue One, but you could get a artisan figure, or at least like a more modern one. Maybe the outfit's a little bit different than her Rogue One, but I think people would just be, hey, look, it's Jyn Erso, it's Felicity there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I think that and we're back at 6scalecantina.com at the Crystal Ball power rankings. Of course, still number one is this Dark Side Anakin. We'll have to see if it comes
that's
to
the
fruition.
best editing I've ever seen. That's the best editing I've ever seen there.
Is that the best editing you've ever seen? What else is on here too? I'm just going to point this out because he was in Rogue One. And when you're talking about using second brother and Jay and Lade, R&D again, I'm just saying, what it gave me hope for besides Jyn Erso, which I really think is coming.
I was waiting.
You guys know this is going to happen.
I know this
you
was coming.
Feel it in your gut.
I know it.
But look, if you're going to give us Jalen Erso, can you give us Jimmy Smits, please? Can you please just do it? This is the time with all this low production. Honestly,
Aries, when that figure's produced, Jimmy is coming on your show.
You know what? And I
know he will come on your show if that figure's produced.
I just have to say, it's like, which version we get? It's like, well, I don't know. The thing, at least from the original prequel trilogy, the one I would say it'd be like sad face Bail Organa from the very end of Attack of the Clones when the clone army is coming out, where he's just like, God, hanging out with the Emperor. This is when I saw Galen Erso. Like I first heard that they were going to be doing this figure of this guy. The first person, the first thing I thought about was you. The second thing I thought about was Bail Organa.
Yep. Well,
Maybe not. Maybe next celebration needs to be 1,500 Bail Organa, which I know, even if it's going to cost you have to stick a family member like a cousin onto a plane over to Japan or wherever they'd have to go for it. If in Germany or something, you would stick them on the plane, give them the money, say, make sure you buy this, and then come back.
So, yes, Slade. And here's the thing: this has been a brunt of a joke for us for a long time. But now, when you think about it, you see all the lower production and some of the weird things that they're doing. Here's the crazy math you can put with this. You can put Jimmy Smits out and Bail Organa for Rogue One, but you could also put him out for Revenge of the Sith. Okay, if you want to go ahead another version, you could also put him out for Attack of the Clones. You could also put him out for Rebels in the Clone Wars. You know where I'm going with this, Jay? They literally, if they were sitting there in their boardroom or whatever they said, their creative lab, and they're like, oh, could we really, is it worth it? Could we sell 10,000 at the end of the day? I think they could, Jay, in different variations.
Why not? Why not? I think they could. I mean, there's a market for all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? The thing of it is, one of the biggest things that they have right now going for them is exclusivity. So if they give us a low run, this will fly. You know what I'm saying? This would definitely fly. But just the Star Wars figures in a whole, there's always going to be a market for them. So yeah, I really think this could happen anytime soon.
Oh, and Defio Dome says, Nita, May 4th power ranking. And I wonder if this is what they call you, baby.
Call him the Wizard.
It's a little too much fun with this stuff here. And Jonathan O'Kane with the $10, baby.
Nice.
Says, I really appreciate that, dude. Thanks for all you do, Aries and crew. Absolutely. Much appreciate your insight. Happy hunting. Well, look, that's what it's all about, Eamon, right? So, we've joked around this Bail Organa for a while, and I think Jimmy Smits would come on the show. but honestly, when I seen, Jalen Erso there, I agree with Lane. That's where my head went right to this figure. I feel like you can make more all around at the end of the day if you're going to invest in R&D with at this point in Star Wars with Bail Organa than with Jalen Erso. So I think if they're going to do that, why wouldn't they do this? Because a lot of collectors, because you guys all collect a lot. You have your D12s filled, you got your shelves filled, you got your cabinets filled. A lot of people would not pass on a Bail Organa to complete the collection. I'm just saying, even if they just got one.
No, they wouldn't. Wouldn't pass on all. I know if it came out, I get it.
Yeah,
me too,
for sure.
Because it's like one of those supporting characters that really don't get their due.
Yeah.
Bail. So you got to look at it. Bail Organa's presence, his conviction, and his ethics pretty much laid the foundation of the rebellion when he raised Leia. So, if it wasn't for Bail Organa, it wouldn't have been, I would say, a more ferocious rebellion than it was due to him raising Leia. So,
yeah, and this figure, because I haven't filled up table 66 all show, and some people put it in earlier, and they're thinking I just forgot what we do here, but this would be so good. I think good is the word.
Good.
All right. So I got a question for you all as we're getting ready to close this out. And I would love this with this Artisan Anakin. And I do think we are going to get the sculpted version. I know one of you guys mentioned that today. And I do think we're going to get the dark side. I think that's where everyone can get an Anakin. But I want to play this this clip here because it sets it up. And I'm trying to find it, but for the anniversary of the 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith, and we've got the Artisan Anakin. Could they give us a version of the Emperor where they're sitting there and they're talking about the story about Darth Plagueis the Wise? You guys know where I'm going with this? Can you imagine being able to set up a display where you have that? I'm looking for that clip, but it's kind of like if you could put here's the Emperor version, right? But when he's sitting in the opera, you guys know what I'm talking about? Could they give us just a Palpatine as a figure for Revenge of the Sith, Jay? Like it's just Palpatine from before he gets all decrepit from the fight with the electricity. Is that possible? Because I think they've invested a lot of R&D in him too. They got the Clone Wars version of Darth Sidious. So could you see that? Because I think that they can reuse it. Speaking R&D.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be. I mean, you could take the head sculpt from the Darth Sidious and use it. Yeah, absolutely. And that would make a great exclusive. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, well, and here's what it would look like. I don't got that scene yet, but I got this scene, which would look cool.
In the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you're under arrest, Chancellor.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
The Senate will decide your fate.
I am the Senate.
Not yet.
Oh, man. Yeah. That still gives me chills. I think I got to watch that tonight now. That would be a cool figure. That would definitely be a really, really cool figure to have. Why don't I have the scene in here? What's going on?
As much as I think that thing, unfortunately,
I got it.
What do you got?
Here it is, Lane. You can go off this.
Is it possible?
Well, I don't have him say not from a Jedi, but I'd love to be able to put them both together with the Artisan Anakin. Anyway, dreams.
Yeah. It's a great possibility. Like I was saying, I don't really think. I mean, at this point, everything is on the table, and they can make that would be a perfect. I think certain figures would make good. Like Galen would make just good super rare figures that people could just buy. Those would be exclusives. Absolutely, we should get more of those like that of characters that we regularly wouldn't buy like that. Because I mean, every time you see a Sidious, it's either him, as a Sidious or a Palpatine, and there you go. I forgot Sideshow actually did that.
Yeah, you talking about this, Talking about this, Aries?
Hold on. Let me pull you up. On the. How do I get your solo shot? Solo layout. Here we go. Oh, yes.
You talking about that one?
Ah, yes. Where'd you get that? It's pretty darn cool.
Oh, wow, that was early in collecting, and that's Palpatine's 2-pack, where it has the unfried Emperor and
the unfried.
Before he microwaved.
When you said that, I was like, damn, because the case was locked. And I was like, damn, the case is locked. And I know what he's talking about. And I would want this one and the one that he was up at the Senate lying on the Jedi. I was like, I'm scarred. And he had that red robe, that version. So they got, technically they got 3 that they could turn around and put out. It would sell. They could put this one out. They could put the one out in the robe where he just fresh and crispy. And they can bring out the zombie Palpatine. Then that zombie Palpatine would sell. I know I would buy that.
Yeah. For sure.
Or
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
Eternal
Yeah.
Sith Palpatine with that throne.
Oh, the
like,
Eternal
very-
Sith. Well, as we
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what I
we-
mean by the
started
zombie one. Yeah.
to become a life sucker, apparently, that he never told us about that ability before.
Right.
But where he's got more of the reddish eyes kind of color and stuff.
Well,
Um,
as we end the show here, when you talk about, we're back at 6scalecantina.com. Of course, I have Bail Organa up here, but you could go vote. If there's you guys are voting all the time, go vote. This list is going to change again. Like I told you earlier in the show, you still got tonight, all day tomorrow, and then for April, this list, who knows how it's going to shake out.
there's another one on there, I think, that for
Well, there's your
some-
Eternal Sith at number 32.
Eternal Sith.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I think one, because they've gone so deep into the Clone Wars line, that Ventress at number 7. Like, I really think Ventress is one. I don't know which version they want to do of her, but like that Ventress.
That's the
feels like-
mythos, but yeah, that's the picture I found
Oh,
there.
she's coming. She's coming. No,
like,
no
they've
doubt
gone
about
so-
it.
They've
Yeah.
gone so deep into the like Clone War. I mean, not to the point. I mean, we're like the Wolf, and the Wolf Pack and those guys for clones. Even like I feel like that's the guy. In some ways, I know why they didn't, because they didn't want to quote blow their load all at the same time, putting Revan out. But like they have to do Dark Nihilus. Like they have to do that at one of him someday if they did Revan.
Well,
Like,
they've already gave us Raven, and they got Malgus, and they're So I think they're
gotta
doing
do
this.
him eventually. Like I think other than Revan of like kind of older, just for look and stuff. I mean, he's not that interesting, even a bad guy, because he literally is. I'm a guy who's like the Star Wars version of a Galactus who eats planets. Basically, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to him, but he just looks. So he's one of the coolest looks. Like,
Yeah.
How about this, Rogue One? There you go.
Yeah, that's going to piss a lot of people off.
What did they do to Artisan of him?
Artisan of Bay's 1500.
We would need a new cheer at this point.
Oh my god.
That's not the way for customer service to go do it.
Here's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get your 20 million C-3PO now, which I told you they were gonna do. That's gonna come. You're gonna get another R2.
An outside shot though, for one, I think for if like they did an Artisan version, they could go over really well. Just having seen Qui-Gon's one, but having seen even like that they did a life-size bust of the actor with actually like full hair and the whole thing as Saruman. You probably know who I'm talking about now. But Count Dooku, I think if they did a new version, a 2.0 of him, like
I think they're gonna.
Very good Artisan figure.
Yeah.
So I think there'd been enough time for his character, that figure to have been out and everything. Where doing something, it isn't going to be like, it's like where they did the Artisan Anakin. Like that figure had already been out 5 or 6 years by the time they finally did a 2.0. So it'd been a while.
Right.
Well, I'm just telling you, with the Luke they're coming out with, it's too easy, because that's literally 5 years, 6 years in that Dark Empire comic, guys. Ending with this. This is also 5-6 years after. It's too easy to give you a version where they make the hair a little less puffy. Honestly.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to give you that, and I think they'll give you the freaking Return of the Jedi. It's only 5 years difference. This is my opinion. When they do this Dark Empire Luke, I don't think they're going to go through all of that and not do what they did with the Imposter Joker. I just can't see it. I think they'll do it.
No, you'll definitely get that Luke. Yeah, a Luke with a training scene with Grogu, and they can throw the Book of Boba Fett on that and keep it moving. Also, Pedro, you're right on it. New Hope. That's the 50th is right around the corner. So, yeah, we're gonna get more Lukes. They're gonna get a lot out of that Luke.
There's
Artisan
one
head sculpt.
Aries. If you guys haven't checked it out, one of the number 20 there, Aries did a video about why that figure is coming. Of course, Princess Leia as in her quote Hutt Slayer form.
Yes,
Which is funny is because what do you call it? What was it? PCS is starting to do third scale statues for the first time. Star Wars is getting third scale. They like just put out an emperor on his throne, and they're doing actually a silicone headed emperor. But they were asking about in the Facebook group, Leia, like 1/3 scale, what one would you kind of want? You know, it's kind of early asking. The one that was by far the one requested the most is probably the one they can't do. But Slave Leia is the one that by far was the one everybody wanted. But this one would be really good too. I think a New Hope Leia would be fantastic. I can't imagine effing with that hair though, with the way those buns and everything. I can just see them being a big pain in the butt.
I'm just going to tell you, just watch out for Christian Bale. He's coming. Go ahead, Jay.
I was like, yeah. If we get a new Leia, I think that would. I mean, I think there's other looks that they could do. I mean, the Yavin ceremony, Leia from A New Hope at the end. I think that would be definitely a great Artisan to see that. I mean, but there's so many Leias that we should get. I mean, come on, Bosch Leia is. I'm surprised we did not get that. That's ridiculous to me.
The return anniversary. That feels like if they were only doing a few, that would have been an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they were using a slightly older Leia head sculpt or something as a switch out, like at the time, maybe 280, you know, from that time, 280, $290. People would have bought it, you know?
For sure.
Boy, that Hand's been a while. He should be coming soon, shouldn't it? Like, and then Hand return should be coming soon, shouldn't he?
I think that's any day now. I wouldn't be shocked if that's during Celebration. I think that's going to be a release. I wouldn't be shocked if that drops this week.
I would be shocked if we don't get an Artisan Hand announcement this year.
No,
literally. I think they're going to announce. I do, because I think it's
that
time.
Could be the way they finally put out that Bespin Hand. Would be fine.
I do. I think that's what they're going to do. I think,
and maybe a sculpted one too, like do the kind of 1-2 punch for people.
Yeah, I think that. I don't know. They may just give us Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan and not give us any 20th anniversary.
For 20th Return of the Sith, they do the Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan.
You know, they've done weird stuff
would
like
absolutely be the Hot Toys thing to do. Where we're like, yay, where we're going, yay, like, yay, while also scratching our head at the same time, being very confused. Like, why is this coming now?
I hope they do the right thing and do this. And I would like an Artisan in sculpted with the Tom Holland one and the Poe Dameron and how they're doing shorter hair. I think they can pull this off in sculpted and Artisan.
And how they have at least somewhat. I still haven't been perfect. But how much they've improved for the likeness for
it'd be hard, how much they improved.
I think
the more recent figures.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this needs an updated sculpt. And I mean, as far as hair goes, I don't think personally this would need to be an Artisan because what they're able to do with sculpted hair with this at this length is amazing. I mean, it's like honestly, there's really no point because they're sculpted hair at this length is so damn amazing. I mean, kind of like what we even seen with art, with the Superman that they just the BBS Superman they just did. It's like really, you really know
that Joker, I can say from personal experience owning it, the sculpted hair Joker for what is probably a more difficult hair to have to try and get the look and style to. That Ledger sculpted hair is great. Like for a sculpted thing, it's perfect. How much they've improved and everything. We could use new Christopher Reeve Superman too. That wouldn't hurt as well. So that was
I tell you one that's going to come out that's not Star Wars, but it will be this year announced. There's just no doubt in my mind for Artisan with John Wick. It's too easy.
Figure is so good.
Yeah, I mean it's too easy. You know what I'm surprised they didn't do yet? I'm shocked.
It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
And it needs an update so bad.
So bad. So yeah, I don't think they got any of his figures right. And I think this is a time for them to go in. Now that they got that Artisan technology, they drop this Artisan. I think this will probably break the internet, honestly, because I think this is the one that people would like. This is the one that people are really looking for.
Is this the first Artisan where they do the beard like InArt did with Gandalf and actually give you the beard part?
Ooh.
Or do they sculpt it?
I think they. Ooh.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
I would love for them to try to do it rooted. I think that would be a phenomenal. Yeah, if they really want to be competition for InArt, that do this rooted. That would really. I mean, who knows? Maybe. Yeah. Sculpted would be good. They would knock it out sculpted, but I would really like to see them stretch and do the hair and the beard with this one. This would be one we would be waiting for a while.
It'd be a good one to try it on.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
To debut it, because he's got the long beard there. I feel like that this is coming.
For sure.
You know what else I feel like is coming because of these off characters that they're coming out with, and I think it'll just be a regular sculpted, but I know we've talked about this, guys, but it's the only villain we don't have from the trilogy of Nolan.
Yeah. Once again, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of, you got to get Ross. You know what I'm saying? So, I think will it be an Artisan? No, I don't think it'll be an Artisan, but I think they'll do. I mean,
a pair.
Yeah, I think they'll do it. I can't say they've done everything. They milked this shit out of the Dark Knight trilogy, and it's really big. And it's really big.
Like, other than him, they have like literally done everything.
Shit, we have two versions of Two-Face. They 2.0 Two-Face. Yeah. So I mean,
how many versions of Joker?
Mm-hmm.
Two versions of Bane.
They did Alfred. They've done Commissioner Gordon. They've done three now up for pre-order or put out 3 of the armories.
Yep.
I mean, we've had 6 scale. Now we're getting some little 12 scale. We've had life size. We've had WB selling actual giant driving, tumblers that you can buy for $3 million. I know it'd be easy for us on this panel. I think NFL quarterback. I think Joe Burrow or somebody said like he bought one. So they have milked the Dark Knight trilogy about in every single format, way, and in every genre possible. It feels like.
Look, we got the single songwriter. Give a shout out over here.
What's up, sir?
Seen you in a while. So good to have you in here. And you have to wonder, is this what they call you, baby?
The Wizard.
Good to have the songwriter in the house for sure. And then I'm going to end, with this, because this is, in all seriousness, they don't have to come out with another figure for the rest of the year. If they would give me an Artisan of this, the farm boy Luke from A New Hope, to me, the goat of all goats, heroes-wise,
yes,
I'd be a very happy collector, because this is what I want in Artisan, guys. I want this in Artisan, and I want the Luke done right. That, you talk about a 2.0 that's needed. The farm boy Luke from A New Hope is needed.
Very needed piece.
I would
something. Yeah, very needed piece. Definitely is coming. Yeah, it's about 10. Yeah, it's been 10 years. So yeah, this is definitely coming. We're getting it. I mean, leg wraps and all. It's going to be. I'm sure we'll get a tattooing base or something like that. I mean, they can give us a sand base. You know how they love their sand bases.
Yeah,
so
2 feet on them.
With 2 feet on them. So we'll definitely get it. But guys, I really do gotta run. I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me, Aries. This was a treat to have you back on a Sunday evening. This is great.
Went a little longer than I thought, but it's been a while.
Definitely, why not? But thank you guys so much. It was a wonderful, wonderful panel. You guys have a great night.
Just wait for the late night release coming later tonight. So you probably have to be on again.
There you go, brother Cousins.
Oh, Jesus. Exactly.
Good to have you on, baby.
Likewise. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
And I think that's Lane and second brother. That's going to be that's a great show. I think we'll call it here. I can't believe how many of you have been in here and gosh, It's been a long time, and to have 80 on a Sunday night, and you have to wonder, is it possible that I've been thinking about, and how would you guys like it if I started to go live regular again on this whole Sunday evening thing? Do you say yes, or you want me to just stay pre-recorded and don't go live no more? I think I'm going to go ahead and do this on a more regular basis, and I know I just have to wait for the right time, second brother and Lane, but celebration, May 4th coming up, you know.
Might be a couple good weeks to knock him out here and there.
Yeah, I think it's a good time. You know, I'm feeling better.
Hey man,
it's been crazy.
I felt bad for poor second oh man, all the brothers getting my brain scrambled. Probably because I'm hungry. But brother cousins, like when that Dark Side Anakin, I had that off to him like the second it popped up, and my first thought was that guy is going to be doing a couple streams about this figure, and lo and behold, he was living that Dark Side Anakin for about 48 hours. But Eric, hey man, it is so good to have been back with you tonight and everything. Thank you so much for inviting me on and everything. Second brother, it's been a long time. It was nice being on with you. I see that Batmobile behind you too. You do know you got good strategic placing of your oversized vehicles.
Yeah, you got to.
No, and great having
limited.
Yeah, so much is coming, man. So much has happened, so much is coming, and so much is going to be coming at us that we have no idea that's waiting to run us over.
Oh, I'm right with you, Lane, and thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, I think we'll keep this going. And second brother, great to have you on as well.
Sure.
I know everything was last minute, but sometimes to get back, sometimes you just got to jump into the deep end and swim again. So that's what we did here today.
Yeah, like I told you, like I was sitting up here in the chair, like napping out. Like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be getting some classwork done. I'm like, let me get myself a done. I'm like, wait a minute, did I see Aries just send me a message? I'm like, wait a minute,
where's he been?
Did I see that again? And I'm like, wait a minute, okay, this is not a past text. And I'm going live at 6:30. Then I saw it on Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Like, you know what? I'll jump online for Aries. I jump online because you know, it's been a long time. Glad that you're back. You know, we need some more flavor and your insight when you start doing the market show and the secondary market. That's one of the most important things to us in collecting, because we have a certain value to our collection, and you do a unique job. So that has been missed.
Well, no, thank you so much. And I think that there's a lot going on. I appreciate that, especially with all these artisans, and also not just artisans, but these other exclusives. We got more exclusives in 2024 than we ever had in the history of Hot Toys. I think they're going to be on par. I think it's going to overtake that this year. Got to keep an eye on what's going on. We talk about a lot of real stuff and how us as real collectors navigate and get through all of this. So, no, I certainly appreciate that. And for everybody who's watching, I am going to do a review on this DX34 Dark Side Anakin. I will have it tomorrow, actually. So I'll get the review done. Look for it Tuesday or Wednesday. So go ahead and hit your bell notifications or whatnot. I'm just going to do it raw, like you saw me do with the Jack Sparrow DX39 interview. It's going to be, like I said, you know, sheetrock in the background. There's going to be a lamp. And I'm going to show you, here's how you go. I'll put in all the ancient action figure music and all of that to give you that ambiance. But I'll show you how it is, and we'll see if we like it. But no, for Lane and for second brother, I am the Hot Toys wizard. And I don't always spill my spotchka, but when I do, baby, I do it right here at the 6 scale cantina. Stay thirsty, everyone.